Did you ever think you would make it? I feel I'm so close, I can taste sweet victory. I know this life meant for me.
Adam, what's your point? The future looks bright.
My handshake is better than anything I ever signed, right here.
You are a one-of-one?
My son's right about
I
it.
don't think I've ever said this before.
All right, guys, one day away from the weekend to be here, and we're doing a Friday podcast. Looks like my voice kind of came back this morning a little bit. Me and Alex were having a hard time yesterday. I don't know how many shots I took. But by the way, we took olive oil shots, a couple of them, Vinny. Then, Mikel brings these shots. We take it. Then Mikel brings something in a cup that he made. Alex goes like this. And I took that shot. But we had a great conversation. Anyways, we got a lot of stories. It looks like Homeland Security shuts down tonight at midnight. ICE will still be doing its thing, but I think TSA, Rob, did you say TSA is going to take a hit? Who else?
A few other government organizations.
Okay, so that's that. Here's a Cal sheet telling us what the Fed decision is going to be in March. Fed maintains rates, 93%. Fed cuts, 20 basis point, 25, 8%, more than 25, 2%. So we'll see what's going to happen there. Maybe we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we should dive into it with the stock market.
Yeah, we will. And then numbers came back about Super Bowl halftime show, Bad Bunny, where he ranks for the most viewership, where he topped. Curious what you think without looking at the data. But the most important data that came up that Humberto just shared with me is toilet flushes, okay? Toilet flushes. I've never heard of this before. But he said every year NBC News sends a report of how many times the toilet was flushed. Literally, this is a story, and that shows people's interest of walking out to go to the bathroom or watching the show. I don't know what it means. We'll talk about that. Trans lover of Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin spotted after going into hiding. Adam's got some thoughts on that. J.B. Pritzker says he's had to overcome his wealth, which would be an obstacle in 2028. Him being wealthy is an obstacle for him running in 2028. Gavin Newsom's wife scolds reporters at Planned Parenthood funding bill signing. She just jumped in. And it was very interesting when you see that. U.S. to send 200 troops to help combat Christian persecution in Nigeria. Transgender killer 18 behind deadly Canada school rampage that left 8 dead is seen griping rifle in disturbing image. Is this another clip, Rob, than the one we played yesterday? Okay, here we go. More disturbing stuff. Trump threatens chilling escalation in Iran as he meets with Netanyahu. Not seen since Gaza. Trump, after good meeting with Netanyahu, nothing definitive on Iran as Pentagon preps second carrier. Only one House Dem voted in favor of voter ID, proof of citizenship in U.S. elections. I love what Scott Jennings did today. There's a clip, Rob, I have on my notes if you want to pull it up and prepare it. Hot girls for Mamdani. Co-creator pushed wild anti-Israel 9/11 conspiracy theories. Adam's got thoughts on that. Lawmaker makes a fool of anti-ICE sheriff who can't answer basic questions about governors. By the way, this is probably one of the most embarrassing clips I've ever seen. The man is dressed in his uniform, 4 stars here, looks money, but he doesn't know the 3 different branches that we have, and he doesn't know which one he works for.
Oh, man.
What?
Literally, I don't know if you guys seen this or not. It's amazing. So we'll react to that. L.A. ICE grabs illegal immigrant 30 who sodomized child under the age of 10. Tom's got thoughts on that. We got a few other things here to go through. And then top 5 moments of the Bondi. Adam wants to react to it. Well, obviously, we haven't done it yet. Wall Street roars higher than after blockbuster job report smashes forecast. Then the market kind of tanked a little bit yesterday. Not a good day. It was all red. I don't know how much money was lost yesterday, but a lot of money was lost yesterday in the stock market. Foreclosure bloodbath deepens as banks seize 40,000 homes. CNN numbers, guys, this is embarrassing, has nearly lost half of its audience and all its relevance in the past 8 years. When you see these numbers, it's unreal when you look at these numbers. Maybe it's not for some people. Hawley, Minnesota Attorney General get into a shouting match. One of the best clips to show you guys. It's disturbing to watch it. Mamdani meets with the Minneapolis mayor in New York City to discuss protesting migrants. What is Save America Act, mandates voter ID. We'll go into that. And then we got a few other clips to get into here of what is taking place. CBS News considering new round of layoffs could affect 15% of staff. Dow Jones crashes 700 points yesterday. Why the U.S. market is down today. 5 key reasons behind the Dow's crash. Vinny, what do we have going on here today?
A new Faith Over Fear hat is coming soon to a theater near you. But I just wanted to this morning I was listening to Billy Graham, which, Pat, you told me to listen to him. You're like, Vinny, dive in and listen to him. So I'm getting ready in the morning. I'm just listening to Billy Graham, and he said something that I hadn't heard in a while, and it was the Apostle Thomas. When Jesus rose from the dead, Thomas wasn't there to see the resurrection. So Thomas goes, I'll believe that he rose if I get to put my hands in his wounds and in his side. So then he finally sees Jesus, and he goes in there. He goes, God, Thomas, God, put your hands in here. And Jesus looks at him and goes, because you have seen me, you believe. Blessed of those who haven't seen me and still believe. And in that moment, Tom, it hit me. He's talking about us. Okay, we weren't there. We didn't see Jesus walk. We didn't see him die. We didn't see him rise from the dead, but we believe, and that is faith in real time. And he's talking about us. And the last one, you mentioned the story about the Nigeria that we're sending 200 troops. Trump is sending 200 troops. They're saying they're not going to do anything crazy, but think about that. Think about the priests. Think about the parishioners in those churches that were bombed and murdered and slaughtered, and they were in that church praying and saying, please help. That is faith over fear in real time. And that's what we're about. And that's what the brand is about. And I can't tell you how many people see me with the shirt, because the shirt's on the back, and just tap me on the back and go, I'm with you. Or they see this hat and they go, where can I get that hat? So you can go on vtmerch.com, get the hat. We have the hoodies. We have Here Am I, Send Me, which is Isaiah chapter 6, verse 8 as well. But just go to vtmerch.com and pick it up. Spread the word.
By the way, if you work with Vinny every day, you would see how much he's changed in the last 3.5 years since being here. His commitment to his faith is unbelievable, and everybody around him feels it. Okay, all right, so let's get right into it. Rob, what story should we get into first?
The first story that everybody wants or is voting for in the chat is the FBI destroying the Epstein prison footage.
What is that, Rob?
So it turns out, here I have a news article on it. It turns out that the the FBI may have destroyed the tapes of Jeffrey Epstein's
page 11.
jail cell.
Okay, let me read it and we'll get into it. So, Epstein files reveal FBI authorized destruction of master copy prison footage in 2024. Page 11. Is this it, Rob?
Yes, sir.
Go for it.
New documents show the FBI destroyed its master copy of surveillance video from the night Jeffrey Epstein died before public demands for its release grew. When the agency later put out footage, it was a screen recording with a 1-minute gap. Officials initially blamed a nightly system reset, but records show that theory was never verified. Congress later released the full video, including the missing minute, which showed nothing unusual. The Justice Department has not commented.
Rob, what is this?
This is a report that came out, I believe, 2 days ago that the FBI destroyed the original master copy of the jail cell video, which may or may not have shown somebody sneaking into Epstein's jail cell on the day of his death.
How do you process that, Tom?
Well, the FBI is the nation's highest, most elite law enforcement. When we have things across state lines, when we have things that are major frauds, they partner with the SEC on major financial fraud. But here you have the highest, the elite of our law enforcement is actually destroying evidence, not preserving evidence. I'm shocked. I'm absolutely shocked. This kind of takes it back to when the FBI, and now we've seen it, 60 years later, how there was evidence from the Kennedy assassination that was not preserved, that it was missing. And what it leads to is the public, and I'm part of that, just doubting. It's like, how can you have faith in an organization that's supposed to be investigating one of the most significant crimes we have of the most significant player in this insane, scandalous, horrible, multi-level crime operation that was going on on that island. And the guy that gets killed, the evidence isn't preserved.
When was this destroyed?
It just destroys my faith in the law enforcement.
When was this destroyed, Rob?
I believe, according to the emails, it looks like it was destroyed the day or the day after Epstein's death.
So it says in June 2024, an FBI agent was granted authorization to destroy an evidence item labeled 1B60. 1B60, which turned out to be the master copy of the prison surveillance video from Epstein's final hours. The FBI described this destruction as routine because the underlying criminal case was closed and the evidence was considered no longer pertinent. Later, when the Justice Department needed the footage, again in 2025, they did not have the original master copy, so they worked to reconstruct footage from a secondary system recording. The reconstructed video has a gap of about 62 seconds that wasn't captured. But who destroyed it and when?
They destroyed it 2 days after he died.
Who's they?
The FBI authorized.
What is this FBI agent's name? Do we know?
They don't. It's redacted in the files right here. It's the black bars in this email.
So
names
XYZ advised. Rob, can you please read the blue?
Sure. Redacted advised that the only one hard drive of the camera system was working at the time of the incident on August 10th, 2019. When a DVR went bad, none of the cameras recorded. There was a system failure of DVR2 on July 29th, 2019, and the motherboard failed on DVR2 on August 8th of 2019. The hard drive failure occurred on August 10th, the same day Epstein died, 2019. After the incident, Redacted was asked about the cameras. There were 2 new hard drives to install, but installing the new hard drives would mean that all prior data would be lost. The warden wanted video, and so Redacted was told to start working on the system. Redacted started removing the bad drives in order to rebuild the DVR. Redacted advised that an FBI agent was the one who pulled out the DVR. Redacted also advised that he knew that by replacing both hard drives, the system would be wiped, and that he had advised personnel at MCC of that.
Could we take a second?
So they knew what they were doing 2 days later.
Tom, thank you for saying that. Can we just all, for 1 second, get on the same page? Why? Why would the FBI do that? So 2 things one of these has to happen. Either he was removed, the camera's down, footage, everything, get him out, put a body in there, and just say, oh, it was Epstein because they fumbled everything, pal. Or number 2, someone came in, killed him, and then they left, and they don't want to show it. So let me just, really fast, Pat, this is why people have questions like me all the time. When he tried to kill himself on July 23rd, that footage was accidentally deleted, okay? He said himself he was assaulted and he did not commit attempt suicide. Then again, against protocol, they moved him out of suicide watch and 6 days into unit without constant monitoring. On the night he died, the guards missed the 3 a.m. and the 4 a.m. rounds. They apparently fell asleep and browsed the internet. Both later admitted they falsely recorded records for that night. His cellmate was removed 2 days before he died. Protocol, again, messed up. 1 day before his death, he made an unmonitored phone call violating prison policy, claiming he was calling his mother. By the way, she'd been dead for years. And then the cameras malfunctioned, all right? And then the jail itself hadn't seen a death in 21 years. Okay, and then there's a 4chan post by prison guard Roberto Grivalva made hours after Epstein died, claiming Epstein was wheeled out, shackled in a wheelchair the night before. An unauthorized trip van arrived without logging in, and a person inside was wearing an army uniform. Think about that. And then the crime scene was destroyed immediately after he was killed. All right, inmates reported hearing shrieks from his cell that night. Official dismissed the reports. His body was found near-seated, kneeling position with his body 1 or 2 inches off the floor, ligature around his neck. The marks didn't match the bed sheet. Pat, all of this aligns to either they shut the camera off or they deleted it. Somebody came in, grabbed him, they put a body in there, and they were like, all right, clean the scene up and leave. So then when people like me go, dude, the guy might be alive, because they never released an actual photo of him at Kha. It was always from the side, and he had a hook nose. And as everybody could see, he doesn't. That's not the facial structure of Epstein. None of it makes sense. The only thing, and then when people like us go, wait a minute, are they lying to us? Then you put these facts in, and then they call us crazy. It doesn't make any sense. By the way,
when this happened, the sitting president was Biden, and the sitting FBI director was Chris Wray, just so you know that. It's important to know that when that took place. Adam.
So here's what's going on in my mind. There seems to be all the stories regarding Epstein when he's in prison, like there's a missing minute, now things are being deleted,
well, they were
deleted. The cops are falling asleep. This is why people have so many questions, and the story will not die. So what's the thing you talk about? Hanlon's razor? What's the definition of that? Never attribute to malice, which can be explained by stupidity. Either
or mistake.
Everyone that's in charge of the jail and the prisons and the DOJ is just bumbling, fumbling idiots, or there's genuine malice going on here. It can't be both. Can you just be dumbling, fumbling, mumbling idiots who are also trying to cover up everything? That's the challenge I have here. Pick a lane, guys. Either be like, yep, we cleaned it all up, sorry, nothing to see here, or we're absolute buffoons. We're running the government.
But
that's the problem.
But you remember, it was about a year and a half ago, and we were on the old set, and you were like, guys, nobody cares. On the list of priorities of Americans, blah, blah, blah. And here we are a year and a half later, Adam. It's the #1 talk thing about, now, by the way, and it's not going to stop. It's going to keep going because it's the latter, Adam. They're covering up because there's billionaires, there's powerful people. He was extremely powerful. He worked with the CIA. He worked with Mossad. All these people, he did all these favors, and then he's in jail. It's not so far-fetched to go, hey, listen, we're going to arrest you because we have to arrest you. We're going to make it look, the cameras are going to do this, the guards are going to sleep. We're going to look like you killed yourself, and then we're going to send your ass off to another country, grow a beard, and live somewhere else. It's not that hard. Adam, it's not that hard. Guess what? When we do this, the FBI deleted it. Fact, okay? Cash Patel is saying, there's nothing's here. BS. And now we know, and guess what? We can't do nothing about it.
So
nothing about it.
You don't even have to go that deep, Vinny. I respect what you're saying, and I follow that line of thought in a lot of ways. But you don't even have to go that deep. The 1 minute is exactly the time when an assassin would need to get in to do it.
For sure.
And medical examiners around the U.S. all said, the limited pictures are there. If that's not a stage picture and this isn't here, then that doesn't really line up with this kind of a death. So you have medical examiners saying, shouldn't we look at this? This doesn't look right. And then you have the minute missing of exactly the time to get someone in there. Just stop right there.
Yeah, you're right.
Just stop right there and then say, why would you erase the hard drive, or would you do things to erase it? Remember, they erased a hard drive in 1963 in Dallas, Texas, and his name was Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah.
Right? If you think of it that way, when you lose evidence at the exact appropriate moment, I mean, come on.
And when you do stuff like this, and then you have people like us questioning it, they call us crazy. It's like when you have a pizza shop in Washington, and the owner and Podesta and his brother are all talking weird stuff about $60,000 worth of pizza and kids, and bring the kids in the hot tub and everything. And then we're called crazy. No, you guys are crazy because you're horrible at covering up your crap. Because evil at the end, Pat, when you talk about bad policies have bad consequences, your stupid, evil, demonic selves are going to show yourselves.
Hey, Pat, take a look here.
Light always wins.
Rob just ran this. Let Pat talk.
Sorry.
Look, Rob just ran this poll.
I saw it.
That's
yes,
our
52% believes he's still alive.
Which is
44% believe he was killed. 5% believe he killed himself. Suicide.
But nobody thinks he killed himself. Can I just respond to Vic
Yeah.
real quick? By the way, I'm with you on how passionate you are. Don't misconstrue me not making this a top 3 issue in my life.
You said the country doesn't. You said nobody cares. Nobody. And now look at how, Adam, what's the #1 thing right now?
I'm gonna give you
the stock market. Everybody's like, the stock market. Nobody gives a damn. It's perverted, pedophile, probably cannibals, probably disgusting demons are running the show.
Okay.
And they're untouchable.
I mean, I'm with you. I'm gonna talk
so
slowly.
it's not you.
I'm gonna talk slowly, so I'm with you now. It's not just me. It's the data. 6 months ago, we ran the data of, they said, what are the top issues that everybody in the country is focused on? And it showed 1 for Epstein. Like, I'm talking the entire country. And we go, 1%? And they go, no, 1 person had this in their top 3. So 2 things can be true at once. Everyone is worried about the border, immigration, their pockets, affordability, their family. Like, that is the #1 issue for everybody. Separately, we could also want answers on what's going on with Epstein. 2 things can be true at once. It's not just whether this is my #1 story or not my #1 story is irrelevant. People want accountability. I totally get that. But none of this is affecting genuine people's lives.
Yeah, go
Last
ahead.
thing. Something that I focus on, maybe some people can use this little trick. It's sort of a Venn diagram. It's things that matter and things that you can control. And where you should focus, or where those 2 things intersect,
This
we
is
have
not
no
the time for
control
that. This-
over Epstein.
No, but this is.
Do we have control over Epstein in the
Adam,
documents?
Then if that's the case,
Pam Bondi can't even do it.
if that's the case, what the hell are we doing a podcast for?
I'm not
You think you
saying-
have control over the stock market? You think you have control over, Bad
don't.
Bunny? You think you have? This is called a discussion for the audience to
course.
sit there and they want to see what different people's opinions
Yes.
are. What
we
I'm
should
saying,
discuss it.
I
Not-
understand.
but we're not investigating.
I understand having control or not having control. We're reacting to the different stories that are coming up. Pam Bondi, on 0 to 10, how do you think she performed? Pam Bondi, how do you think she performed? Overall.
I think she's doing an abysmal job.
No.
Oh.
The hearing.
Oh, the hearing?
The hearing. Tom
I
gave it a 2.
5. I give her a 5. She was
5
right
at
in
the
the
hearing.
middle because she was fighting back, but all the saying the stock market is good and all the other stuff that was happening.
Tom,
was
why do you
bad.
give it a 2?
I give her a 2. I thought, and I don't want to give that. But guess what? I got to call balls and strikes. And the answers she gave, a couple of the redirections she had one interchange with a.
What clip was the most disturbing for you? And what clip, Vinny, was the one that was most impressive for you on her behalf?
The clips that I saw of her calling them out on their BS and all their relationships and Jamie Raskin's connection and Hakeem Jeffries, who talking all this trash, he was begging for campaign funds from Epstein after he was already caught being a pedophile. And just, Pat, if you don't mind, just really fast, 20 seconds, Adam. We were worried about the border. We were worried about the economy and everything because it was all messed up. Trump fixed it, and now that it's fixed, everybody's back to number one being Epstein. That's the whole. That's the whole.
Go to Crockett. Go to Crockett. Go to Crockett, Rob. This is one of them that Vinny was talking about. Yeah, right there. Watch this here. This is the ending, I'm assuming. This is the one I sent you.
Yeah.
Okay, go for it. Go back, Rob. Go back.
Convicted, homicide, arson, weapon offense.
Convicted. So what we talking about? Convict some of these perpetrators that rape these women that are sitting behind you, and you refuse to even acknowledge they are here.
Time belongs to the gentleman from Kansas.
Mr. Chairman, could I have a few seconds back?
Texas, from Cuba.
Tom,
Convicted,
how about yourself?
homicide,
What was the
arson.
clip for you where you said, that was to cause to give it 2?
I hated the whole segment between her and Massey getting into it.
Okay, got it.
That was just.
Wexner, why didn't you? I made you.
Yeah.
That whole part?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, and by the way, they're on the same team. They were wearing the same jersey under all this.
I don't know if they're on the same team.
No, hang on. They're supposed to be wearing the same team. We have midterms coming up. We got a lot of things going on. And Thomas Massey on the Republican side has kind of become like a Joe Lieberman kind of in the middle, kind of a wild card. And I just didn't like that. I just didn't like it at all. I thought it was a bad look. I didn't think it was a good answer. And I thought that when they really got into it, it just she didn't look poised. Didn't look like an attorney general, on top of her facts and everything. And I was disappointed. I was really disappointed. I didn't want to see this.
Got it. Makes sense. Rob, play the clip.
Respond, and then the gentleman can move to his next question.
It's my time.
Within 40 minutes, you asked me a question. Within 40 minutes, Wexner's name was added back.
Within 40 minutes of me catching you red-handed.
Red-handed. There was one redaction out
Where
of
he's
over
listed as a
4,700,
co-conspirator.
and we invited you in.
Gentlemen,
This guy has Trump derangement syndrome. He needs to get. You're a failed politician.
Gentlemen,
You need to
I
go
want
on
you to
these
watch
matters.
Right there.
Chairman, please restore his time and remind the witness of the rules here.
There is no credible information. None.
Got it. Well, I mean, listen, it is. I couldn't find a reason to celebrate it. Rob, can you pull up the tweet on what I posted yesterday about what certain things we become united on? My opinion. So if you go to the third one, yeah, right there. The Epstein files have become the biggest black eye to the administration. There are few issues that unite Americans across politics, religion, and income levels. Protecting kids is one of them. The last 3 administrations failed to address it. This was an opportunity to finally confront it head on. The attack, deny, and never apologize playbook doesn't work when children are involved. Yes, there's a lot to celebrate. Murder down 20%, border more secure, America projecting strength, markets performing well, but none of that matters to parents if kids aren't protected. It's also true many on the left are more focused on taking out Trump than protecting children. Otherwise, this would have been a priority years ago. Still, this has been badly mishandled. When it comes to kids, transparency and accountability aren't optional. Major fumble, no other way to say it. By the way, did you guys see the clip of Epstein's butler The camera, and by the way, I just had Rob right now fact check it before we show it. This is a real clip, okay? So watch this, Rob. If you can play this clip, little disturbing when you watch this.
What is it?
Do you know which one I'm talking about?
I just randomly saw.
This is the butler. Watch this. Go ahead.
If you hire somebody, I would be fired in 2 seconds. But back to the computers. Let's talk about this. Yeah. Did you ever see anything on those computers? Any images of girls? Or exactly. I saw it. You saw? Remember I told you there was Ghislaine Maxwell had an office under the stairs next to the kitchen. There's the computer who was a radiator with water. First time in my life I saw that to keep it cool because they used to download pictures like this, just like that. What kind of pictures? Naked girls from Sweden, from Romania, from Czechoslovakia, from Brazil, from
all minors, all young girls.
Very young, very young.
Like when you say very young, how young are you talking?
16, 17. The teenagers, they don't have braces, most of them.
Younger than that though?
Yeah.
Okay. And this guy from Citrix, he erased all those images.
I'm assuming. Because
were you there?
If you hire somebody.
Yeah, these are the people he's talking.
And then he died on
2014. Yeah, he died 2014, but he died because of cancer. That's what he died for. I don't want to put it like he died from anything else. Anyways, by the way, here's the question I ask Alex. I'm going to ask you, Vinny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How much longer you think this story is going to last? Epstein. President Trump's not been president for how long? 13 months?
Year and a couple months.
Is it 13 months? 13 months,
yes.
Right? Little less than 13 months. Yeah, little less than 13 months. He's got 3 more years left. How much longer will this be a story? How much longer? We know how much longer he wants it to be a story.
Obviously.
You know, he's talking about it yesterday, and Trump says, why do I don't even understand why people care about Epstein. And Lutnick is in the back laughing. Did you see that clip? Is this it, Rob?
This is President Trump being asked about Lutnick's involvement in the Epstein
go
files.
Commerce visited Epstein's island, and do you continue to have?
No, I wasn't aware of it. No, I didn't. I actually haven't spoken to him about it. I wasn't. But from what I hear, he was there with his wife and children. And I guess in some cases, some people were. I wasn't. I was never there. Somebody will someday say that. I was never there.
You notice how much he goes back to I was never there. He always goes back to I was never there.
Mm-hmm.
I think the part of it here, you know, when the audience watches, there's things you can laugh at. There's things you can laugh off. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things you cannot laugh off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like even if we do a story and, you know, I'm doing a story and we're joking about certain stories you can't even joke about.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? So here, I think this is it, Rob, if you want to play. Yeah, watch this.
Is he hosting some kind of gathering of top advisors this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation?
I don't know. I could ask you that question. I don't know of it, but I...
Including fake news, want to keep something like that going. But credible information,
Listen, I don't know, guys. You know, we're fans of Lutnick.
Big time.
We're fans of, you know, the work that he does. But what do you look for when you play poker against somebody for 6 hours? You look for what?
A tell.
Yeah.
Maybe laughing is his tell. And maybe he's got, you know, I don't know. Do you understand what I'm saying?
1,000%. And by the way, again, I've always said that I'm one of his biggest fans because of what he's doing and the way that he addresses the camera and stuff. But if we're going to be honest, he sat in front of that interview, podcast, whatever you want to call it, and he's like, no, he invited us to his house in Manhattan. We walked in, we saw the massage chair, and I was like, ugh, and that was it. Now we find out because of the files, you took your wife and your kids to the island? Like, this is the clip, right, Rob?
Yes.
Like, you played this one? And then
left.
We left.
And in the 6 or 8 steps it takes to get from his house to my house, my wife and I decided that I will never be in the room with that disgusting person ever again. Really? So I was never in the room with him socially, for business.
Okay, Rob, you can stop it. And then, guys, and let's just call a spade a spade. Then you come out and you say that you took your wife. And here's my thing. After someone's been convicted of being a disgusting underage pet, whatever you want to call it, you're going to take your wife and kids and fly them to the belly
the deal
of the
after
beast,
the deal.
After the, oh, sorry.
The plea
after
deal.
The plea deal. What are we talking about? So they're lying. So to answer your question, Pat, I don't see this thing going away until actual people go to prison. Because people like me, I'm going to let you talk, Adam. People like me, and I've said this, I want to say 50 times here. Let justice be done, though the heavens fall. You don't see it like that because of the institutions, and I get that. But let me ask you this question, Adam. You think God, you think Jesus Christ is cool, and if he was here right now, and he's like, oh, they're using it as leverage? Oh, the rape and probably murder and cannibalism of kids? Yeah, use it as leverage so this other country, we don't go bankrupt. You think Jesus Christ would be cool with leverage for pedophilia and murder? No, I'm sorry, bro. That's not what my religion is about. That's not what God and Christ is about. I want people to go to prison. We just saw Pat, who's the Goldman Sachs lawyer. She just stepped down yesterday. They're all connected. The banks, the presidents, the billionaires, the millionaires, Bernie Sanders, they're all of them. All of them. And the light is coming out. This disgusting darkness, God is shining a light, and I don't think it's going to go away, Pat. I think it's going to keep going.
These kind of things, everything has to be out. Go back and look at history books.
I think it's going to go 3 years.
Democrats,
heck yeah.
Look, 1972, 1973, Watergate, until all of the men had been tried and Liddy was in prison, Colson was in prison, Archibald Cox closed the books, all the tapes were out there, books were published that transcribed the tapes, and then and only then was Watergate done. We knew about Daniel Ellsberg's psychiatrist, we knew about the break-in, we knew about the clumsy Cubans that broke in to the Watergate Hotel, we knew everything. It was all out there, it was over and done, and then Gerald Ford lost the election, and Jimmy Carter's chapter began. But it took 3 years, and that was just Watergate, Pat.
Tom.
But everything had to get out.
Right. But, Tom, Trump knows this. Trump has to know this. Like, you'll test to make a story go away. It hasn't gone away. What are you doing now? Because
3 million more, the news media,
Yeah.
everybody interested is saying
and you
the
hear-
other 3 million docs.
Right. And this story here, they announced top Goldman Sachs lawyer, Kathy Ruemmler, to resign over Epstein-linked. What they forget to tell you is this was Obama's main lawyer when Obama was president. She was the main counsel. So the way they wrote the title makes you seem like they're taking a shot at who? At David Solomon.
Yep.
And they're taking a shot at Goldman. By the way, Rob, can you copy-paste her name and just go ask, who is she? Okay? Or go to her profile, LinkedIn, whatever you want to go to. There you go. Go a little bit lower, if you could. Zoom in, Rob.
Whoops.
So there you go. She was White House counsel to President Obama. But no, they put Goldman Sachs. What do you think is bigger? White House, what storyline is a bigger storyline? White House counsel to President Barack Obama fired due to ties to Epstein. And Rob, what came out in the Epstein files about her and Epstein? The way they were speaking was very mushy, like the relationship is a little bit.
She referred to him as Uncle Jeffrey. I have a newscast where they talk about the gifts that she received as well, if you'd like me to play.
Go ahead, Rob.
We begin here at 11 with breaking news. There is new fallout amid the release of the Epstein files. The top lawyer at Goldman Sachs, Kathy Ruemmler, is stepping down after emails showed that she had a close relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Ruemmler was also White House counsel to former President Barack Obama. Newly released documents show that she called Epstein Uncle Jeffrey and accepted luxury gifts from the disgraced financier. Her resignation takes effect June 30th, and in a statement, Ruemmler said in part, "My responsibility is to put Goldman Sachs' interest first." The company's CEO said, "She will be missed. I accepted her resignation, and I respect her decision."
If this had been a conservative, the first 2 words would have been Trump lawyer quits.
1,000%.
Those would have been the first 2 words.
For sure, but this is her current role right now, right? That's why they're.
It doesn't matter, Adam.
She got a high-end Hermes bag for $93.50. She got multiple bottles of wine, boots, a watch, and other clothing items. In one email, she wrote she was totally tricked out. Jeffrey's boots, handbag and watch, a Hermes Apple Watch band. She discussed which style she wanted in a 2018 email, and some reports suggest luxury coats and additional accessories like designer fur, trims, and other gifts. There you go.
I want to know why.
Good perspective.
Why
Yeah.
was he so close to her that he felt he had to swag her up like that? Why? That's what I want to know. What was she doing for him? What work was she doing? He decided, man, I got to send swag. I just got to light up her lobby with her assistant dropping all this stuff in.
You're lacking, are you discounting her ability to be a lawyer and practice law?
No. I want to know, what was she working on? What projects was she working on?
Well, she exchanged 11,300 emails from 2014 to 2019.
With Epstein?
With Epstein.
14 to 19? 11,000?
11,300.
Was she working with Obama at the time?
Kathy Obama.
14 she was.
From 2014 to 2019. That's one direct message on 70% of the days. And then banking billionaire Ariane de Rothschild sent or received 5,500 emails, while former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers exchanged 4,300 emails. So this is,
Epstein was into the Obama administration at least, 2013, 14, until he left office in January of 17. At least that. There's the overlap. We have the dates. Summers was his Treasury guy?
Yeah.
This is his lawyer?
Yep.
So here's what I think is going on, because you asked about grading Pam Bondi and whether Trump is going to address this now or kick the can down the road. Here's my opinion. I think Trump is going to kick the can down the road. By the way, he's not kicking the can down the road on anything else. Tariffs, border, Greenland, Gulf of America. Pick an issue, Trump's addressing it. But why isn't Trump addressing this? And why is this on Pam Bondi? Here's my opinion. It's kind of like the Cleveland Browns. Systemically horribly bad football team. They draft Shedeur Sanders. He's a average to below average quarterback. And everyone's focusing on him. But nobody's focusing on the fact that for 25 years, they've been horrible. They haven't had a good quarterback in decades. They haven't a winning team basically ever. So Pam Bondi, who's been the attorney general for a year, it's kind of like, what have you done for me lately? And everyone's like, come on, Pam, let's go. This is on you. It's like, hold on. Merrick Garland was the attorney general for 4 years. What did he have to do with Epstein under Biden? Before Merrick Garland, there was Bill Barr. Bill Barr, and then you remember Jeff Sessions, and I don't recall, he had to recuse himself. What were they doing during all this? By the way, Bill Barr has been in attorney general in politics so long, he was under the Trump administration and also under the Bush administration attorney general. What does Bill Barr have to say about this? So you have a cast of characters between Loretta Lynch, Eric Holder, who was under Obama. You have Alberto Gonzalez, Janet Reno under Clinton. This thing has been going on for decades. And they want to put everything on Pam Bondi, who's clearly sort of unequipped to handle all this. But the reality is, it's kind of like blaming Shedeur Sanders for why Cleveland Browns suck. Your organization
Wait a minute.
And she's just the latest quarterback in a crappy team.
Adam, that mental yoga, I got to back up on.
You want me to?
Nobody is putting it on Pam Bondi. We're looking at how she handled herself during a hearing. You said it, and you're talking to the whole scandal and the whole thing, and there's some weird, odd football metaphor in there. No one is putting the whole calamity on Pam Bondi. You don't understand how
football works? There's a quarterback,
what they're talking about,
and he's running the team.
Oh, stop. You always
interrupt. And if the quarterback sucks, you're going to blame the quarterback. But the entire team sucks.
This is a tired technique.
So you think
this is such a tired technique, Adam. I think people should knock it down.
Not true. That's my point.
Unbelievable.
It's the administrations that have been in there over
previously.
What did Bill Barr? Did Bill Barr speak on this?
Well,
did Eric Holder speak on this?
That's a very good point.
Did Merrick Garland speak on this? These are the people who have been with the files for years and for decades, and you want to put it on Pam Bondi?
By the way, so if you want to play this clip, Rob, because this is a very valid argument to debate, play this clip.
Did you ask Merrick Garland that the last 4 years? Did you talk about Epstein?
I'm reclaiming my time. I'm glad you're asking about Merrick Garland.
You don't get to reclaim
because
time
this is bigger than Watergate.
When I don't answer a question the way
this goes over 4 administrations. You don't have to go back to Biden. Let's go back to Obama. Let's go back to George Bush. This cover-up spans decades, and you are responsible for this portion of it.
And that's
now,
where the
I want to know at what point did the FBI and the DOJ decide that Lex Wessner was not a co-conspirator? Because our Epstein Files Transparency Act requires you, please put it back on the screen, please. to release the internal decision about whether to prosecute him or not, and it's not in the files, and it's not in the files for any of these other men.
I didn't even see this clip, but this is essentially what I'm saying. Is that why you played this?
Yeah, no, I'm playing it for a different reason. I'm going to get go ahead.
And Adam, you make a fantastic point.
Well, explain it to Tom.
No, hear me out. This is your. I understand 1,000% your point. Nobody talked about it. Nobody cared about it. The only problem about Pam Bondi, besides the connection of her and Florida and coming in after Epstein and being the AG here, hear me out. Don't make the promises. Don't come in front of the camera and say, we have this, we have 10,000 videos, and we're going to show you. Don't be Cash Patel.
I agree with you.
Hold on. Don't be Cash Patel and say this, and I'm going to do this on day one, this. Nobody, those other idiots didn't make the promises because they all kept their mouths shut. When you come out and say, I promise, I'm going to show you, I'm going to promise, and then we ask for it, and you're blocking shit, and you're covering up stuff, you're deleting this, and you're hiding co-conspirators, that's the difference. You're right. None of them talked about it because they're all implicated. All of their donors, all their friends, all their people, all the judges, all the presidents, and everything. Don't make the promise. Keep your mouth shut. That's how you kick it down kick the can down the street. That's the problem.
Well,
she made the promise.
And don't go to lunch in Washington, D.C. and shoot your mouth off to somebody and get overheard in a public restaurant.
Would you put Pam Bondi in the top 5 best performing people that they've appointed, or the bottom 5?
Bottom 5.
It's closer to the bottom, probably.
Okay, then guess what, guys? Respectfully, okay? There are certain jobs that everybody gets that's way over your head, okay? It's happened to everybody. You have to find a way to do the same thing you did to Waltz. What was Michael Waltz? What was the guy's name? What was the guy that was signaling to Israel, whatever he was doing?
He's right.
And he had a big
Michael
job.
Waltz.
Michael Waltz, right? We met him.
Mike Waltz.
Yeah, nice guy. But guess what? When that happened, what did they do? Hey,
Resign.
you go do UN.
Yep.
You go do, what was the job that he got? Yeah, United
Ambassador
States
somewhere?
Ambassador to UN.
Yep.
You go do that. You go over here. We didn't fire you. You saved face. Take Bondi, move her off to a different job.
I agree.
I don't think this is Bondi's job.
I agree 100%.
I think then also the market will react in their own way, or Bondi can simply resign and step down and go and do her own thing. But I think this continuing this way,
or
Trump, we looked at some numbers. You know what Trump's turnover ratio was in his first administration? 43% in the first year. People are getting fired left and right. You know what it is today? 28, 29. Trump's not firing people.
Yeah.
He's not firing people. And he's got to sometimes. I think he's got to fire somebody. And this is not a good look because she made the promises. She said these are the things we're going to do.
Yep.
And she got caught with James O'Keefe. And James probably likes Pam and didn't want to drop it. And he sent it to them saying, we're about to drop this. Then Pam comes in front of camera and says what they have. This is and this is true story. This is not like we're making stuff up. So for me, I think it's time. And I was hoping to see a different kind of a hearing. I don't think she performed well at all.
I'll just go real quick. I think the reason he's not firing these people who are, quote unquote, performing badly, Pam Bondi, Kristi Noem, Cash Patel, is because they're doing what Trump wants them to do. If they were stepping out of line, this is my opinion, they were stepping out of line for what Trump wanted, they'd be gone in an instant. You're fired. What are the chances that Trump is having closed-door meetings with Pam Bondi, Kristi Noem?
Of course he is.
And he's saying, Pam, I need you to do this. Step up, Kristi. You're doing this. Put a little more makeup on. Cash, let's go. Get out there, buddy. He's a leader, and they're going to follow his lead. So if they're stepping on a line, that's when I think they'll get fired. If they're towing the company line and doing what Trump wants them to be doing, I think that's why they're safe. He keeps saying that Kristi Noem's doing a good job. He keeps saying that Pam Bondi's doing a good job. We see him very close with Lutnick. If they were stepping out of favor, they'd be gone. That's my opinion.
You're guessing at best, and I'm not going to name names. Pat knows what I'm talking about.
So what you're about to do is guess at best. Well, go ahead.
No, not at all. There are people that are there with the administration.
Tom's going to be the last one, and we're moving on. Go ahead.
There are people with the administration who are stacking up what they see every day, and not everybody is aligned with Trump. Some people are ahead of Trump. Some people are not ahead of Trump, and they're on point. And Pat and I heard a list that went top to bottom that we're not going to repeat that was factual. I'm not guessing. Not all that cabinet is aligned, and they're not gathering with a huddle and following the boss the way you just indicated. So let's just leave that there. Not everybody is there.
Then they would be fired.
Action. if you we'll get elected president, and then you can take care of it. But that's what's
that
going on.
That makes no sense.
All right, let's go to the next story. Let's go to the next story. Next story. This is not going to go away, guys. Just so we know, this is going to be around for a minute. Rob, let's go to Hawley. Hawley is sitting down with Rob. Can you tell the audience who Hawley is sitting down with in this clip? You know which one I'm talking about?
Yes.
Minnesota.
Keith Ellison, the Attorney General of Minnesota.
Okay, yep. Keith Ellison, the Minnesota Attorney General. Watch this.
Communist.
It is uncomfortable. If you've not seen the whole clip, which clip is this, Rob?
This is where they talk about being a pal and then telling him.
Good. This is good. But then I want to go to the other one. But this is a good start. Go ahead, Rob.
Whistleblowers came to you as early as 2019. Let's look. As early as 2019, whistleblower. Don't talk over me. As early as 2019, it's my hearing, pal. As early as 2019.
Don't call me
whistleblowers came to. Well, I should call you prisoner because you ought to be in jail.
Well, we'll see what you can do about it.
Pause it and go back. By the way, pause it and go back. Look what he says. The amount of audacity to react this way. Press play, Rob. Listen, folks.
2019, it's my hearing, pal. As early as 2019.
Listen.
Don't call me
whistleblowers came to. Well, I should call you prisoner because you ought to be in jail.
Well, we'll see what you can do about it.
Pause. We'll see what you can do about it.
The audacity.
We'll see what, by the way, who talks like that?
Somebody knows they're untouchable.
We'll see what you could do about that. Rob, is this the clip about the $10,000?
I believe so. This was in your notes.
Okay, perfect. That's the one. Have you seen this $10,000 clip?
No.
You've not seen this?
I haven't. I saw.
Do you know the whole so the whole conversation he's having with them is he met with these folks for 54 minutes, and afterwards, 8 days later or so, guy gets $10,000, and Hawley's calling him out on it. It's disturbing. Watch this. Go ahead.
To help him.
Are you going to let me answer?
Please, we're all ears.
So first of all, you're cherry picking quotes out of there.
Why did you help him?
I thought you were going to let me answer.
Why did you help him?
Are you going to let me answer?
Why did you help him?
You let me answer and I'll answer you.
Tell the truth and I'll let you answer.
I will tell the truth.
Good.
Let's do that.
That'd be a nice change. Why'd you help him?
Now see, Mr. Chairman, I didn't come here to be insulted. I came here voluntarily.
You came here for the truth. Let's have it. Why did you help them? The quotes are here. They're in black and white, and every member of this audience can listen to the recording. It's 54 minutes long. It's all in public. You can Google it right now and listen to it.
And listen to it all.
Why'd you help them?
First of all, I didn't help them.
You did help them.
No, I did not. I certainly didn't.
You're saying you didn't do anything for them. You didn't.
Well, wait a minute.
I already have my team working on this again. That's not you?
I have my team assisted with the information that led to the prosecution and conviction of these people.
No, you didn't. You didn't lift a finger to prosecute them. No, you did not. You didn't lift a finger to prosecute them.
Federal prosecution.
You had, BS. You had whistleblowers come to you as early as 2019.
You're the one talking BS.
Hey, listen, it's my time.
Doesn't know what you're talking about,
sir. No, sir. You now have encountered the truth and you don't like it. Why'd you take their money? Why'd you take their money?
I didn't.
You took $10,000.
No, that's a false statement.
$10,000 9 days after the meeting.
False statement.
You took $10,000. Here's what happened. They went to your office.
They
solicited money from you. They solicited help from you.
That's also wrong.
They came to your office. It was your official office. You met with them for 54 minutes.
No, they didn't.
They asked you for help. You pledged it to them, and they talked repeatedly about money. In fact, it's all they talked about.
That's a lie.
Money, 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 money. They said, we will put our dollars in the right place. We will support candidates that will fight to protect our interests. You replied, that's right. They said, if you are securing your donor base and securing your power base, you can act the way you want. You replied, money is freedom. They said the amount of money circulating, I'm reading the transcript, the amount of money circulating in our community today is powerful, and we haven't realizing it in a meaningful way. And you said, give me the specifics. And 9 days later, you took $10,000 from people who were then indicted. It's in your reports. Why did you do it?
Sir,
was it worth it?
He's talking about the this is a theatrical performance.
10,000. This is the truth. This is what accountability looks like, of which you've had none. You helped fraudsters defraud your state and this government of $9 billion, and you got a fat campaign contribution out of it. You ought to be indicted.
True. Well,
that's the truth.
I think we've made the point. Let's keep the tenor just
for the record.
I'll ask how I want.
He's lying, and that's the truth.
Oh no, this is all on the record, sir. Did you bother Did you bother to investigate where the money that you facilitated their fraud for, where it went? Why'd you help him?
So,
Are you gonna let me answer?
so for people to
Please.
understand, this guy works with Tim Walz and Ilhan Omar. They're all on that same little crew, and with the major Frey.
Ilhan Omar.
All the fraudsters were going to him saying, "Hey, listen, we're doing this," and they're
No, here's what it is. What he's talking to him about, December 11, 2021. Hawley's accusing Ellison of, on that day, met with individuals later charged in the Feeding Our Future fraud scheme.
Yeah.
A massive COVID-era nonprofit fraud scandal. Hawley claimed Ellison took campaign contribution totaling $10,000 from those individuals or their associates shortly after the meeting, saying the donations came 9 days later. That's the exchange during COVID.
To basically help them not get crazy sentences or look out for them.
Yes.
The question is, Pat, and he might be right, is it all theatrics? Because unless he gets legitimately investigated, and if that's true and he's taking those donations, he should be arrested. He should be put in jail. But it seems to me like people like Tim Walz, Ilhan Omar, they do whatever they want. They sit in front of the camera, they spit all these threats and all this, you're Hitler, you're Nazi, and weaponizing people to go in front of ICE, and nothing happens to them. Nothing happens. There's zero accountability. Ever.
Tom.
Ever.
This is what upsets America, is they believe that there's two systems of justice, this one and that one. I get a speeding ticket. We all get speeding tickets. That's what they feel, and there's no way out. And then they feel that people that are robbing them blind, committing fraud and crimes of the highest order, high crimes and misdemeanors, they feel that people get off. And this guy is on a congressional hearing. A performance like that at the congressional hearing with all the stuff that Hawley was talking about should be referred to the Department of Justice for a formal investigation, grand jury behind closed doors, and indictments, if this is what's happened. But this is not what happens, because things are so corrupt, Pat, they can't get the grand jury together. They can't get the indictment brought down. These things should be happening. People should be in prison, Vinny. But he is sitting there, look at the amount of hubris and the cockiness. This guy's sitting there. And he is the first Muslim elected to Congress and was the first African-American representative. So he is there also protecting a tribe of like-minded individuals. And they're all protected. Look at the cockiness, even with backing off, that Governor Walz still has. Look at that. It disgusts me, Pat. This should be referred to the Department of Justice, and indictments should be brought down. But they don't happen. And this is where American people say, nothing's going to happen, and there's two systems of justice, and the American people sits at 17% confidence in all of it.
Yeah, by the way, I found the recording, just so you guys know. The 54-minute, and there's the shorter clips. I found a recording. I found a bunch of them, on what he's saying on tapes. Rob, I just sent it to you. Do you have it?
Yes.
Play one of them. Let's see what he's saying here.
I'm very concerned about it. I don't run the agencies.
Absolutely.
But let me just finish by saying, but often the agencies call on my lawyers to represent them. And so it's good that we're talking, because we've been in a series of conversations with Jody Harpstead as late as a week ago on how you cannot crunch down on these, because here's the thing, is as big as you are collectively, most are pretty small. And you're running small, tiny businesses out of business over nothing. And a lot of times,
I just sent it. You can pause it right here. Can you listen to the 4 I send, the entire 54 minutes there, but don't listen to the 54. In the 4 clips, see which one says the $10,000. Adam, your thoughts on this?
So here's my deal. Number one, Josh Hawley.
By the way, just to feed the future, this is the $250 million scandal that they got caught on.
Yes.
And then that's a part of the $9 billion. But Hawley here specifically is targeting the $250 million and then saying you got $10,000 in contributions. Go ahead.
So here's what I think about this guy, Keith Ellison. Well, first, let's address the elephant in the room. Josh Hawley's a rock star. Whatever this guy wants to do politically, I think he's based in Missouri, I want to say.
Correct.
Wow. This guy just born for TV, good looking, sharp, informed, like all the good qualities. Let's see where this guy goes in his career. Number 2, Keith Ellison. I'm so glad people are starting to learn this guy's name, because people have probably heard it. You don't really know what this guy's about. This guy is where 3 major things meet. Progressivism and ultra-far leftism meets with Islamism, meets with globalism. So if you want to understand why Minnesota is a complete piece of crap burning in the streets, look no further than this guy. Now, we got to give a shout out to Tim Walz. He gets a lot of the reviews. We got to give a shout out to Ilhan Omar and marrying her brother and getting Somalians to continually vote for the Democratic Party. And we got to give a shout out to Jacob Frey for continuing to pander to the Somalian community. We get it. They're all complicit, in my opinion, in the waste, fraud, and abuse, and specifically fraud. But Keith Ellison is the Attorney General. Is that his job?
AG.
So if we're going to, heavy is the head that wears the crown. If we're going to put everything on Pam Bondi, who's been there for 1 year, how about putting it on Keith Ellison, who's been a congressman, and Attorney General for decades in Minnesota? So tip of the spear goes no further than Keith Ellison. And you're right. He was the first Muslim, Tom, I believe, that was elected to Congress, swore on the Quran. Where do you think Mamdani got it from? And then he was also the person that I want to say was in charge of the Derek Chauvin, George Floyd thing. So if you want to thank anybody for making George Floyd the martyr on the left, look no further than Keith Ellison. This dude seems to me very corrupt, and I'm very glad that Josh Hawley is calling him out.
All right, let's go to the next story. Next story I want to get to is, let me see, what do we got here? Foreclosures, bloodbath deepens as banks seize 40,000 homes in just 1 month, and the pain is only beginning. 40,000 in 1 month. Let's see what Tom's got to say about this. With the number of Americans losing their homes to banks rising for an 11th straight month, it's clear the housing crisis is getting worse rather than better. The U.S. foreclosure activity jumped again in January 2026 with a total of 40,534 properties facing foreclosure filings, a 32% increase from the same time last year. Foreclosure filing cover every stage of the process, from the moment a lender issued a legal warning to the point a home is formally seized after missed mortgage payments. While the total was slightly lower than December, January still marked the 11th straight month a rising year-over-year foreclosure activity, a clear sign the pressure is building, not easing. He said foreclosure starts. Foreclosure rising across the board, said Rob Barber, CEO of Adam. He said foreclosure starts when lenders formally begin the process of taking back a home are up 26%, while completed repos have surged nearly 59%. Tom.
So I've been talking about this year that this K-shaped economy we're in and what's happening with the consumer. When I talk about 1.26, we're almost at 1.3 trillion of credit card debt. That is stress on the consumer. That means he can't pay for other things. And when core things have not come back down, remember, inflation rate is now moderated. It's not rising anymore, but the prices from yesteryear are still very high in baskets of goods for the consumer. And so now the consumer is coming to the point, especially those, remember, this is repossessions of homes. This isn't renters. These are homeowners. Homeowners that can no longer pay the mortgage, and you look year over year, the foreclosures are up. Foreclosure is like the final late notice. Vinny, you're 30 days late. You're 60 days late. You're 90 days late. Vinny, we're officially in foreclosure. We're foreclosing. In other words, we're going to shut down your mortgage. Then what happens to repossession? The repossession is up almost 60%. Jeez. This is a sign of deep stress in the lowest, in the lower, and if you dive into these numbers, Pat, it's actually happening to the lower half of the middle class. And the lower half of the middle class are the wage earners that have less savings and less margin for error, less ability to get through a stress, and that's what's happening right now. You've got the lower half, Pat, is under deep stress. And remember, these are trailing stats. It takes, in some states, almost 6 months to complete a repo. So that means, Pat, these consumers have been under the stress for 6 months from miss 1, miss 2, miss 3, foreclosure, and then repo. The stress is building.
Is any fixing it, Tommy? Like what can
you need patterns I want to see is what areas this is impacting. Is it because whenever you get numbers like this, you want to make sure you see where it is. Okay, so I just looked it up right now. Top 10 areas most affected by foreclosures. Okay, worst state is Delaware, 1,612 units.
Wow.
Second, by the way, who the hell would have thought Delaware? What is Delaware's population? If it's 1,612 units and it's Delaware's population is what? Where is Delaware in population, period? 1 million
This
people.
is like from...
So what is the state with the least amount of population? What is the state with the least amount of people
I thought
living
it was
there?
North Dakota.
Somewhere in the freezing.
Can you ask it?
Northern
State
Midwest.
with least amount of population.
Wherever it is, it's cold.
Montana.
But the point is,
Wyoming.
Been there, lived there.
Go back to see who else is after Wyoming, Rob. Go a little bit lower, show more. Who's after Wyoming?
Vermont and Alaska.
Vermont.
Okay. Well, Delaware has
Basically,
to be a
when
top
it's
5.
cold and north, and nobody wants to be there.
But to be number 1
Yeah.
and you're one of the smallest states, that means this is Delaware.
Okay.
Then you got Nevada. So Delaware was 1 per 1,612 units. Nevada is 1 per 1,983 units. Florida's 1 per 2,000. Then it goes to South Carolina. Then it goes Maryland. And then, these are the ones that are most affected. Metro area, like if we go specific metro, not state, Trenton, Jersey is number 1. Punta Gorda is Florida. Florida is number 2.
That's Jacksonville.
Fayette, how do you pronounce it? Fayetteville, North Carolina is number 3. Then you got Lakeland, Florida, Vallejo, California. Areas least affected, okay? Dakota, Montana, North Dakota, Wisconsin, Kansas, Vermont's all the way at the top, very low foreclosures. West Virginia, Alaska, Rhode Island, Nebraska. So what this means is places that are being affected are, we're learning some of the states that are being affected by this. When California went through the whole NAGAM thing, remember what city and area everybody was talking about in California?
San Bernardino, where they built the excess homes and all the Nina loans.
Right. Riverside, 64% of homes were in foreclosure. Vinny, you would drive in Riverside, and all you would see is boards and houses. It was insane what happened. Looked like a desert. But we'll see what happened with this as it gets more focused in certain areas.
Want me to go?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, you know where I stand on owning a home. But if you're going to do it, be ready to stay in your home. Because 100% of foreclosures happen to people with mortgages. You stop paying your rent, they kick you out, you're out of there. So if you stop paying your mortgage, the bank will basically start the legal process to take their house back, and then they're going to sell it to get money, and usually takes 6 to 12 months. So if you're not ready to buy a home, this is what I always say. People think I'm against home ownership because I say to rent. Only do it if you're fully ready to commit to this, because the last thing you want to do is get fed a bunch of lies. You got to own a home. You got to own a home. If you're renting, you're throwing away money, and then you get a home, and then you're in it for 2 years, and then the bank gets it back. So this is why, tell me if you've ever heard this before, you're not really a homeowner, you're a mortgage holder. The catch is you can become a homeowner if you position yourself correctly, save that money and invest the money correctly. But a lot of people own a home or buy a home before they're ready. And unfortunately, if you want to follow data, the bank just seized 40,000 homes this month, and the pain is only beginning. So be careful out there if you're a homeowner, and make sure to pay your mortgage or it's going to be gone.
Yeah, I would say when you're buying a property, we had this conversation yesterday. One of my guys that wants to buy a house, I said, after you pay the down payment, do you have 12 months of expenses saved? No, don't do it. Very simple. If you don't have it, when you buy a property, you think you have nothing else to fix? You don't think about the expenses that you're not thinking about. Buying a house comes with additional expenses as well. You got to be ready for it. Let me get to this next part here. Wall Street roars higher after blockbuster jobs report. This is 3 days old, Rob. 2 days old. So I'm going to read it, and then we can go to yesterday. Stocks on Wall Street surge after new figures showed the economy added 130,000 jobs. Economists had expected Labor Department to report job growth at around 75,000. Only a modest improvement of December's weak 50,000. January's unemployment came in at 4.3. They were expecting 4.4. They were at 4.4. They dropped. Tom, when you look at this, Wall Street roars. Then yesterday, Rob, if you can go on the market yesterday, how it performed. This was the market yesterday. Yesterday, the market lost $700 billion. Okay? You don't see green. Everything was red. Apple down 5%. Amazon down 2%. Tesla 2.5%. Meta 2.3%. JP Morgan Chase 2.6%, 2.7%. Visa down a point. MasterCard down a point. Everybody was down a point. Cisco was down 11.8%. Tom, what happened yesterday? And what do you think is going to happen moving forward with the market?
Yeah. Hey, Rob, will you pull up VIX 1 year? VIX 1 year, a chart on that. So Yesterday, there was three things that came together and created a storm in the afternoon. The first was there was a lot of AI spooking on layoffs. Second, there was poor guidance by some of the big techs. And then third, everybody thought the CPI that was coming out today, Pat, was going to be higher, proving that starting last April, all the tariffs by Trump created a problem. Well, guess what? The CPI Consumer Price Index came out today 0.3 lower than people thought it was going to come. Came out at 2.4. People were saying it's going to be 2.7, going to be 2.7. Consensus was really about 2.5, but it was actually now down 0.3 from the same time a year ago. So what that means is everyone that said, oh, gloom and doom on the tariffs, this is going to create runaway inflation. The inflation now, Pat, a year later, is 0.3, Consumer Price Index, is 0.3 lower than it was when Trump started the tariffs. So the 1 year impact on tariffs as a boogeyman of inflation didn't come true. Today, the markets are back up a little bit, but let's also look at the VIX. So these are daily swings, big daily swings that are happening. Look at the VIX, Pat. 1 year. The VIX is holding around 21. Which means that Americans are kind of neutral. The risk is look what happened last April. See when the VIX shot up on what did they call that? Liberation Day, April 1st for tariffs. Look at what the VIX did. It went up over 50. Over 50 means that the market was incredibly nervous and scared. But see that? See how low the line is? That means even though we've had these market shifts up a bit, down a bit, up a bit, down a bit, overall the VIX is been under 21 except for a couple pops. And so that is what I look at, Pat. The mood of the wider market as measured by a technical like the VIX. It's a nervous time, but guess what? If you take a look at the least impacted was the S&P. And the S&P over long term, what do they say? Always a bad time to sell it. There's never a bad time to buy it over the extent of history for the S&P 500.
I want to play this clip for you. So October 17th, 2022, we're doing a podcast.
Is this the psychic that you were talking about earlier?
He's
awesome.
a psychic. Joe Biden's the president. Dow Jones on this day was at 30,000. Everyone's worried who's going to be the president next.
Yep.
Doom and gloom.
Yep.
Trump is out. This is when they were hating on Trump. He's the worst. He's this. It's all his fault. And I made this prediction on the podcast. Go ahead, Rob.
What happens today after election? Everybody on the market's going to say the single biggest uptick in the history of the stock market, a single day is going to be set the day after election in 2024. Mark my words.
Wow.
And Dow's going to go to 50,000 in 2024, 2025. 2025.
50,000.
Dow will
That
go
is
to
a
20.
bold prediction,
Dow will
Pat.
go to 50,000 in 2025, 2026. Remember when I said this to you?
Yeah.
I'm okay being wrong, and there's a 80-90% chance I'm going to be wrong. But I'm telling you, Dow, in my opinion, I'm not telling you to do this. Talk to your experts, talk to your accountant, talk to your advisors. I'm banking on Dow's going to be 50,000 in 2025, 2026.
Wow.
But it's going to be a shit show in 2022, 2023. Watch what happens today.
Great. Well, if anybody wants any predictions, or
Dow
anybody
crossed
wants any
50,000.
psychic readings, go to
Dow
Manek,
crossed
hit a pat on the
50,000.
neck.
Well,
That's
by the
so
way,
funny.
can I give you the reason I think you know this? Because you believe in America, and you believe in the free markets, and you believe in capitalism, and you believe that even if Trump is president, or Biden is president, or Obama, or whoever the next president is, you can still make money. People come to ask me, dude, I'm on Manek. Reach me on Manek if you have questions. Man, I don't understand markets. I don't know what to do. Well, if you're a day trader, you're going to go insane because the markets go up every single day. Red, green. We don't know. But over a decade, you're going to make money. Do you remember when COVID happened? Everyone thought the sky was falling. 6 months later, all-time highs.
Yeah.
I remember when we were in the lovely city of Addison, and I was in the room where I used to shoot all the content there. Breaking news, the Dow just hit 30,000 after almost tumbling to closer to 15 or 18,000. But it's not timing the market, it's time in the market. So as much as you are a great prognosticator and predictor, the reality is you have data to show you that you should bet on America and you're not going to lose.
Yeah, you know what it is? Equities. If you're in cash, listen, have cash, always have cash, because like right now, market dropped. My guy and I are talking. I'm like, dude, how much more do you think it's going to drop?
Yep.
Is there going to be more discounted? But regardless, we're all going equities. Long term. Why?
Ask you a question on that.
Why? Because, look, the thing about right now, what they're saying, the dollar is going to get weaker.
Yeah.
That's the topic, right? Well, the dollar is going to get weaker. The dollar is going to get weaker. Okay, great. So if let's just say you know for a fact the dollar is going to get weaker, where should you put your money?
Gold, silver.
Where else, Tom? If we know for a fact, let's just say the next 3 years, dollar is going to get so weak, where would you put your money?
Equities.
Equities.
Yeah.
Anywhere equities.
And equities are just another word for stock.
Yeah.
Stock market.
Go equities.
Bet on the entrepreneurs.
If it's going to go, it's going to be equities. If you're sitting on the sidelines, for me, a year and a half ago, I called my guy. And I said, hey, he says, what's up? I said, I want to find out what are the top 5 biggest startups or companies that are, valuation. I gave him the range of where they're at, that they specialize in nuclear energy. Who are they? So I got into the call with a Goldman's nuclear energy department. We had a call together. And I got, the names of the companies I like. I said, we're going to go nuclear. Do you know the last 12 months the best performing stocks I've had? It's nuclear.
Really?
Now, what do you think? Again, guys, don't take my advice. I'm telling you what I'm doing.
But you're a psychic.
I'm not telling you to go do it. I'm telling you what I'm doing. Don't go say, well, you told me this. But one guy sends me a message, say, I put money in Palantir. You were right. 100,000 turned into, I don't know what the number he said, million, 2 million. I'm like, shit, congratulations, right?
We'll take 10%.
But what I'm saying is, why? Like, go and look at the nuclear side. Why? I don't know if I know for a fact it's going to happen or not. Guess what is a big problem amongst all of these AI companies? What do you think they need? Energy and power.
Yeah.
And we can no longer get it the way we're doing it. So now the biggest thing that the government has to do and these companies have to do, they have to get people to get more comfortable with what? The word nuclear. The word nuclear. And they've not done a good job, but they'll figure that out in the next 3, 5, 10 years. And then all of a sudden, you're going to look at such and such company is officially valued at $1.3 trillion. It was only worth $2.8 billion. Now it's worth $1.3 trillion. Wait, did you just say it 400x? Yes, it 400x. Damn. So if a person put $1 million in, it's not 400 million? Yes. Holy shit. That's how this works out, right? So to me, long-term equities, short-term, there's going to be some of this bumpy ride that you're going to go through.
Yeah.
This is not an advice I would give to somebody that's in their 70s. This is not an advice to 70s or even 60s, unless if you're 60s and you have the body of a 47-year-old and you're a white Canadian guy who lives in Florida, your name is Tom Ellsworth, and you're so sexy that you can't live in Miami. God forbid if Tom walks in Miami, folks. Listen,
remember that girl?
It is out of, let me tell you, I don't want to embarrass Tom. Can we do this? Is this okay?
Listen,
guys,
I'll tell
me, Vinny, and Tom and Adam are walking in Miami. I mean, people think like Adam's the girls, There's levels to this game.
Yep.
Adam, girls see him. They like him. They're attracted to him. But God forbid when women see Tom. When they see Tom, his windshield, car is filled with Victoria's Secret lingerie thrown at his car.
Remember we almost crashed?
And I'm like, listen, you know what? I went and whispered to his wife. I said, listen, you guys can never live in Miami.
That's true.
If there's a city you guys can't live in, you're better moving to Stewart.
Yes.
You're better moving to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
You're better moving to some of these small cities, north of Jupiter. But God forbid if Tom moves to Miami.
Oh my
too much.
Husbands
too much.
their wives. Go.
Like
Like
this guy.
I've seen it with my own eyes, Pat.
Yeah.
People think that Tom and I don't hang out because there's an issue. I don't need him stepping on my turf, taking all my lady friends down
when
there.
you pull up some
Stay away,
in a
Tom.
Ferrari and you throw your keys and they know.
Too much.
They know.
Too much.
Yeah, you know what? There's this guy they call Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
Tom's a crazy bunny. Let me tell you, the ladies call him Crazy Bunny. But anyways.
But they don't call him funny. They call him the bunny.
Okay.
Now, Tom,
By the way, Adam, and I wouldn't mess with any of your lady friends, Adam. At least until the antibiotics kick in. So it's the
antibiotics.
Thank you.
Like I said, not funny, gentlemen.
That's
the dad jokes are.
We were doing so well to change Tom's algorithm on Menexi's getting, and then he gave the antibiotic joke. We're back to boomers Menexing him.
No, it's
All right, let me go back to the next story. All right, so Super Bowl stories came in. Check this out, Tom. I'm probably going to come to you with this one here for Super Bowl numbers. Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime show leads to massive decline in viewership. New report comes in. I don't know what this new report is, but Rob, let's go to it anyways on what the numbers are because I pulled it up this morning Do you have it, Rob? Is this where it shows the numbers? Or
Yes.
let me just
right
read
down
this
here.
Do you have it? Okay, boom. So, per tracking, okay, so Zoom and delivered another massive night television, and the data, our latest viewership insight reveals 48.6 million U.S. households tune into the Super Bowl, representing a 13% decrease from last year's game. Is that real, Rob?
This according to Outkick, which I believe is owned by Fox News.
26.5 million U.S. households watched. Can you press watch more just to see show more, Rob, on the bottom so I can read the rest of it? No, Rob, go up. Right there where it says show more. Rob, on the tweet it says show more, Rob.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Pat, please don't yell at my friend Rob. I mean, he's trying the best he can.
Rob, 99.9% of the time, he's flawless. So, all right, let me get to this. NFL's decision to book Bad Bunny for Super Bowl halftime show was almost immediately controversial. I just want the numbers. There were several ratings now available at Super Bowl, with one source, Samba TV, perpetrating to measure the numbers of households per their tracking, 48.6 million households, which represents a 13% decline. According to their estimates, 26.5 million households watched the halftime show, a whopping 39% decline from Kendrick Lamar's halftime show. What are these estimates, Rob? Because when I go, and if you ask on ChatGPT, okay, go to ChatGPT, Rob, and type in top 5 most viewed halftime shows of all time. What comes up? Top 5 most viewed halftime shows of all time. What comes up? Number 1 is, oh, really? Katy Perry, number 1? 121 million. 121 million. Number 2, no, that's not the right math. Then why would they put Katy Perry up top?
That doesn't make any sense.
I have Kendrick Lamar, number 1, 133.5 million viewers.
Sounds right.
Michael Jackson, I have number 2, 133.4.
20 years, over 20 years ago with smaller
No.
audiences.
Tom, 33 years ago.
Holy
1993.
Think about the population of
1993, 33 years ago. And he almost beat Lamar by 100,000. Then you have Usher, 129.3. Then you have Rihanna, 121. Trying to see, where was Bad Bunny's? Where was Bad Bunny's numbers for halftime? Do you have it, Rob? What it says, Bad Bunny?
See.
So I've seen so many different reports with what they're showing with Bad Bunny's reports. 128.2 is where I see. And Jake, where does that rank? 4th or 5th. Okay, so does it surprise you that we dropped from Lamar to Bad Bunny? Are you not surprised? Is Lamar bigger than Bad Bunny?
Yeah.
I'm actually very surprised that Kendrick Lamar beat Bad Bunny.
Well,
Kendrick Lamar won. Who played in the Super Bowl last year? Was it a big Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Who was it?
Last year was who the hell?
Chiefs Eagles were a big Super Bowl.
Chiefs, yeah, exactly.
Philly
won last year.
Kansas City bad.
And then have another report, Rob, if you want
Jalen Hurts was the
if you want to
MVP,
pull
I
it.
believe.
This is a very interesting stat that Humberto sends us, because Humberto likes to track people that go to the bathroom a lot. He does it here all the time. But he tracks it for people for Super Bowl. Rob, if you see that story or not.
Yep, I got it.
This story here from Newsweek shows, do you see it? There you go. Water use stats in major U.S. city show impact of Super Bowl halftime show. Go a little bit lower. The Nouveau Y'all singer boasts a massive following with 53.2 million Instagram followers. I want to know what the numbers are for the bathroom, Rob. There it is. So New York City saw a significant reduction in water usage. 5 Super Bowl Bad Bunny's halftime yesterday, and 50 minutes after the show, 761,000 toilets flushing across town. So what they're doing is I just got it. So people who are watching the show in different cities, they track how many people walked away from the TV to go flush the toilet. So he just broke the record right there. Early reports suggest that Bad Bunny broke a record of 135.4 million viewers that stepped away to flush the toilet. Versus Kendrick Lamar's.
What a stat.
What a stupid stat.
Yeah, it's so dumb.
133.3, making it the most watched around that show of all time. The NFL has yet to confirm. No, that's a different number. Anyways, we got to get to the bottom of this story because
I peed. I mean, I don't you remember?
Did
I
you
got
go
up, I left, and I came back.
But that doesn't. You always pee.
Bullshit. I know I peed.
It's not like it's a big thing here.
Sorry, I apologize.
Anyways, we still don't know what happened there, but it was number 4, number 5, all-time Super Bowl. Vinny, is there anything you want to say about
voice? How I don't know if you guys.
You want to play that voice?
If there's any way Rob has 2 guys,
and that's real, right?
And it's 100% real. AI just takes away the.
Can you do a cappella both of them or no?
Can we, Rob? And not
one of them is.
I don't think it's a problem because it's just the vocals. It's not
the
the actual
vocals, so
music.
Rob, is the left Super Bowl or no?
I'm pretty sure the left Super Bowl.
I'm not sure where the
I
left.
don't think it is.
Well, I know that there's one where he is a cappella at the Super Bowl.
I have it.
Okay, they take out the beat. But I'll let Rob, let's wait for this. But if you guys want to talk, and I get it, it's a performance. He's walking around. He has to be mobile. Well, Michael Jackson on stage was still singing and not lip syncing even back then. And I just want people to know this. His voice singing without the beat is the funniest thing I've heard.
I just want to make sure because it's unfair if you do a.
Well, guess what, Pat? We could just.
I have it. But
okay.
Go ahead, Rob. First show Bad Bunnies, and then we'll do Michael Jackson.
Just show Bad Bunnies.
Mucha novia, tengo una, mañana otra. Pero no hay boda. Titi me preguntó si tengo mucha novia. Ey. Mucha novia, tengo a una, mañana otra. Ey, me la voy a llevar a todas pa' VIP. Ey, saludan a Titi.
Mother always told me, be careful who you love, and be careful what to do. After the lie become the truth. Hey, the Billie Jean's not my love.
Mucha novia,
let me tell you,
there's no difference.
He's got an amazing. Michael Jackson, amazing, one of a kind.
That was
folks.
He's a king.
Who's watching this right now? Who's ever been to a Michael Jackson concert? Comment below. Rob, can you run a poll? Who has been to a Michael Jackson concert? Yes, no. I just want to know how many people we have. I asked people here who's been to a Michael Jackson concert. Vinny said no. Adam said no. Of course.
Tom.
The rich man in the room says 7 times. Tom Ellsworth, I've been to 7 times.
7.
Michael Jackson
Well,
concert.
we were children when he was
still are
performing. So Tom also went to a Beethoven concert.
That was good. I give that one.
That's good. Tom also went to a Beethoven concert. So it's like, of course he's had time.
Listen.
But listen, Pat, you said something last week that I just want to echo. When did we stop being proud of our heritage?
Oh, man.
Like, you defended Bad Bunny almost, not so much what he stands for or his ideology, but for his love of where he's from. Like, I'm not advocating that you should love Bad Bunny, but you definitely shouldn't hate Bad Bunny because he's Puerto Rican and speaks Spanish. By the way, fun fact, Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory. It's like getting mad at Andrea Bocelli performing because why is this guy singing in Italian? What the hell is this guy talking about? Yeah, because he's Italian. So, you know what's very interesting? I was at Mar-a-Lago the other night, and it was the Hispanic, it was called
the Jewish Hispanic
Gala.
Coalition?
No, it was not. It was Latino Wall Street. So it was all these successful, there you go. It was all these successful Latinos, Hispanics. Shout out to Tony Delgado. Yeah, if you want to punch in on the shoes, you can see the future look bright. I don't know why you're so focused on my belt area, Rob, but
that's a belt.
That's your pant thing. But it was so interesting to me because you have all these conservative Latinos, and the talk of the town was, so what do you think about Bad Bunny? What do you think about Bad Bunny? The guy who's hosting it, Tony, is Puerto Rican. So they're so conflicted because they love America, but they also are proud of their heritage. So I think we need to stop crapping on people that are everyone had a flag. Everyone had a Colombian flag, a Venezuelan flag, Cuban flag, Brazilian flag. I had a American flag
with an L.
No, there were some of those types too. I stayed away from them.
You said 3 of the words
that's
fast.
true.
I want to verify.
Flag. I don't want to get a red flag here. But the point is this. You know that one thing they all had in common that maybe Bad Bunny doesn't?
What's that?
They all love America.
Great.
They all fled these other countries. Socialism, totalitarianism.
That's the only thing.
That's what it comes down to.
You know what it is? Man, if you love America, I love America, you love America, I don't care where you're from, we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Okay? That is the biggest problem. And by the way, again, we watch this stuff because this story of flushing toilets, when Humberto brought it up to me, I've met a lot of people that track different kind of data. You track how many drinks you sell. You track how many cigars you sell. You track how many merch you sell. You track how many client consulting things that we do. How many people attend. I've never met anybody more analytical than Humberto that tracks how many times you flush the toilet. Okay, like end of the day, you'll say, Vinny flushed the toilet 7 times today.
He always
Who cares about this kind of stuff? Humberto does, and I respect it. So to me, Bad Bunny coming out and doing his thing with his performance, awesome. Just say you love America. At the end, he showed the ball, that America, all this other stuff, and the flag, great. Could have been bigger, great. Let's move on.
It wasn't as bad as people perceived it to be. That
I thought it was going to be worse.
Dress,
no.
whatever.
I thought it was going to be worse, and I was straight up saying, hey, he came out and he did his thing.
And by the way, shout out to Turning Point USA for turning that event in 3 months. They put that thing together.
Let's go to somebody else that some people wonder whether he loves America or not, and that's Mamdani. Mamdani here comes out. He meets with the Minneapolis mayor in New York City to discuss protecting immigrants. Okay.
What?
All right. Allegedly, that's the discussion. Rob, do you want to show this clip?
We're looking to determine some of the next steps here. We want to make sure that what happened in Minneapolis does not happen in other cities and states throughout the country. We want to make sure that our immigrant neighbors are protected and mayors work together. We're all operating in the reality business, and the reality is what just happened with Operation.
He's well spoken. Say what you want to say.
Is not okay.
He's well spoken.
Is anti-American.
How do you prevent that? How do you prevent that?
A lot of what it is it's local governments working directly with their constituencies. I mean, what you saw at Minneapolis is tens of thousands of people.
The question is, do they work with the federal government?
Did he say woke governments?
No. Constituency, local government, not
local
woke.
governments.
Okay, Adam, thoughts on this? The meeting between Mamdani and them. By the way, while this is going on, Mamdani also came out asking for an additional 2%. I don't know if you saw that.
Are you saying he's asking for more money?
Additional.
Additional.
More money?
Vinny, what's wrong with that? He needs more money because he just came out, and I know you're probably not happy that he said he wasn't going to.
Yeah.
But now he wants to. Rob, is this the clip, Rob?
This is where he's asked about the 2% increase for millionaires in New York City and whether or not they're going to raise property taxes as well.
Go ahead. Why don't you play the clip, Rob?
I have 2 questions. First of all, I want to talk to you about the deaths that happened because of the cold. We previously were able to get information from the NYPD. Now it's only coming from City Hall. I'm wondering why the policy change. My second question has to do with the budget. I know that you want to have Albany pass these tax hikes on corporations and on the wealthy, but if they refuse to do it, given the fact that it's an election year and the governor said she doesn't want to do it, will you have no other choice but to raise the only tax you can raise, which is the property tax?
So I am encouraged by the conversations we've been having, not only with the governor, but also with legislative leaders in Albany. And these are conversations about putting the city back on firm financial footing. When I was standing here in this room weeks ago announcing the fact that our conclusions were coming to the same level of assessment, at the very least, as the previous city controller, the current city controller, and the current state controller, we also said that we would then be updating those assessments as we got more information about Wall Street bonuses, as we got more information about the economic forecast, and as we also took savings measures of our own. And so in that time since, as I shared yesterday in Albany, that $12 billion deficit is now one that we have been able to bring down to $7 billion. And that's in part because of the revenues, the Wall Street bonuses, also an aggressive savings plan and a use of in-year reserves. I am encouraged by the conversations we're having with Albany about how we can bring.
Vinny, go ahead.
So
I know you like him a lot.
I'm just wondering, all those people that I saw on all these podcasts and all these talking about, I'll pay the 1%. Okay, so now it's going to be 2%. What percent is it going to have to hit for people and the New Yorkers and the people with the, I got the money, I'll pay for it, for them to start talking out and speaking out? Because the city looks like crap. The garbage is in the streets. He had a winter storm, and over 13 to 15 homeless people died because he took out the order to have them shelter because he's like, no, leave them outside. There's still, I saw them chopping ice from the streets still 2 days ago, Pat. It looks like they're in Antarctica, okay? He's not running it right. He's still asking for freaking money. He's speaking Arabic as if that's the language of freaking New York, and it's not nothing. Tell me one thing that's positive that's happening. I'll wait. Anybody? Give me one positive thing coming out of New York. Go ahead.
By the way, when he talks, believe what he's saying, because he said savings, and they've limited. take a look at what was happening a week ago, where there were pictures in multiple boroughs of the trash that was building up, and that there were trash shifts that didn't happen because they were going to require overtime shifts. And you can see where they're cutting it. And they're cutting it. They're supposed to be serving the citizens, but they were cutting. Look at that picture.
Look at that.
Look at that
That's
picture.
how you're saving money.
They wouldn't do the overtime because the trash pickup went slower, Pat, because of the icy streets.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't give the overtime to the trash collection because they needed it, because they wanted to save money.
Great.
There's your savings, ladies and gentlemen.
Bingo.
There's your savings. The rats are breeding under the warmth of that pile of trash. This is horrible.
And Tom, I'm just wondering, where are the New Yorkers?
Oh, and some savings. We also got some savings.
Yeah, he said it went from 12 billion to 7 billion. Yeah, because that's what the city looks like, you moron. And look at that.
And I'm going to keep talking about this because Eric deserves credit. I researched it. We saw him in Washington, D.C. He told us about the surplus. I did research. He did. He left a multi-billion-dollar surplus
Eric Adams.
that Mamdani has vaporized, and now he's looking for even more. This is a guy, Mamdani. If Mamdani ran a funeral home, no one would die. I mean, this is basically what we have. Just incompetence of leadership, and now the solution is, I don't know how to run it, I don't know how to fix it, I don't know how to set the budget, so guess what? Let's just raise the tax. This is what you voted for. Get ready, buckle up.
Can you say his name one more time?
What?
Say his name one more time.
The mayor.
Mamdani.
Mamdani. Mamdani.
Dani?
Mamdani. Like Mamdani.
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 Go ahead. Adam, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like everyone's building out their team. Like if you're drafting a team, you have the Mamdanis and you have the AOCs and you have the Jacob Freys and you have the Ilhan Omars. That's their squad, literally. Like that's them. You know, there used to be a time where you used to say, "Are you a communist? Keep it on the down low, bro. Yeah. Don't tell anybody.
He's
proud. You're a social. We are proud democratic socialists. Stand with me, and all our socialists unite." They're saying the quiet part out loud. You know, you might disagree with how Trump does things, but at this point, it's so clear. The guy loves America. He's America first. And whoever you want to put in the America first camp, whether that's J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, Josh Hawley, name the names, put them on a, like, you know how you do a side-by-side, tailor the tape. These guys believe in capitalism, biblical Judeo-Christian values, God-fearing community, family. These people are all woke leftists that are selling socialism, and people are buying it. So, you know, you get what you pay for, and unfortunately, Minnesota bought and paid for this ridiculous mayor and Ilhan Omar, and New York just bought and is now paying the price for Zoran Mamdani, and they're going to end up losing in the long run.
Results. Kalshi yesterday came out. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, Rob. If you want to go to Kalshi, go to my Twitter account. On Kalshi tweeted something, which it's so interesting.
Oh, this is good.
Remember when we were talking about? Actually, go to the one above it, Rob. First, keep going. One more up. There you go, right there. So Kalshi just tweeted yesterday that California lost $1 trillion in wealth due to billionaires leaving. This is in the last 6 weeks, Vinny.
Oh, my God.
Okay? During COVID, they lost over $1 trillion. This is the only state in America that on 2 separate occasions lost $1 trillion of wealth leaving its state. Go a little bit lower, Rob, on the other Kalshi tweet that they had. Go back on the tweet and then go down. There you go. Watch this. Kalshi just tweeted, Mark Zuckerberg relocates to Florida from California, avoiding the new wealth tax.
Yep.
Newsom is doing a phenomenal job losing his job creators. Can you imagine that?
Jeez.
Newsom is doing a great job losing job creators, but there's one person he hasn't lost, his wife, in this hearing, in this, a press conference.
Yes.
What was it, $92 million?
$90 million.
Planned Parenthood.
Yeah.
This is what you call an alpha wife. Very impressive. She stepped up. She crushed it. By the way, she's very well-spoken. I'm not even being sarcastic. She's actually well-spoken. Watch this here when she steps up at a Planned Parenthood. They're crushing it. So, listen, if you're in California, you want to make money, ladies, come up with some pink jackets. People will buy it. Look at this picture right here. There's massive demand for pink jackets and pink sweaters. Rob, play this clip.
He's pink.
Here comes Yoko.
No, we just find it incredulous that we have Planned Parenthood here, and women are 51% of the population. And the majority of the questions, all of these questions, have really been about other issues. So it's just fascinating. You have this incredible women's caucus and all these allies, and you're not asking about it. And this happens over and over and over and over again. You wonder why we have such a horrific war on women in this country, and that these guys are getting away with it, because you don't seem to care. So I just offer that with love.
Look at his face. Look at his face.
Look, these are your incredible
Beta
women in this room.
mode
and you have these
activated.
allies. Ask about what we're here for today.
You
Don't
think he's happy or annoyed?
First,
No.
no way. He turned the color of everybody's shirt.
You do not have to be an FBI profiler to see that he did not
You
like
don't think
that.
he found that
He
sexy?
didn't want Yoko going to the
You
microphone.
don't, Tom. You cannot tell me he didn't find that sexy. Like, he didn't say, "Man, I am so happy to be with an alpha." That you don't think he found that
No,
sexy?
no,
a
that's
little
not what
bit?
he finds sexy. What he finds sexy is his friend's wife drunk on his doorstep and then bang her on the couch. He finds that very sexy.
That's Tom Ellsworth, ladies and gentlemen.
No, that's history. I'm quoting from history.
That's true. Why is Gavin Newsom doing this with his wife right here? Because it works, and it will continue to work. You know, more women in this country vote than men. And what is the one issue that the Democrats can say we do better than the Republicans? That's abortion.
Killing
Victimhood.
babies.
That's their thing.
Killing babies.
That's their thing.
Innocent babies.
You know, and I'm not saying that women shouldn't vote, but we may want to consider it at some point.
Jeez.
You know,
oh shoot!
I'm just saying. By the way, women.
He just
Oh,
went
okay,
like
this guy's talking about doing things on a couch. I'm just saying we're joking, guys. But here's the deal. Let me explain what I had a call on Manect because you talked about the wealth thing.
Yep.
This is a real life example. People want to talk about, you know, Zuckerberg and Bezos and the Google boys. Yes, they're moving their companies, hundreds of billions of dollars moving. Here's a real life guy. Started a small business. Shout out to you, Ben. I had a call with him on Manect on Wednesday. He said, listen, man, I'm moving to Florida, and I wanted to reach out to you because I know that you're born and raised in Miami, South Florida. Tell me what you do. I go, disclaimer, I'm not a real...
I asked him to connect you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for
Last
that.
name starts with R.
Yes, it is. Thank you. He told me that. So I had a half-hour call with him. I said, explain to me before I tell
Sounds
you about
like a
what's
stud,
going on in
quality
Florida.
guy. Yeah.
Shout out to you, buddy. I said, explain to me why you're not staying in California. He goes, honestly, dude, there's zero incentive for me to stay. You know, you tell the story about when you got recruited by Governor Perry to Texas. Everything's recruitment. Come on down to Florida. This is where woke goes to die. Mayor, shout out to Mayor Suarez. Hey, how can I help? I said, what is Gavin Newsom or Karen Bass or anything? What are they doing to keep you in California? What are they doing to keep you in LA? He goes, dude, absolutely nothing. They're actually driving us away. So how many more stories like that exist? We hear the billionaires. This guy has 7 to 10 people in his corporate office, 100 employees, and he's moving to Florida. And he connected me after the call. He goes, thanks so much, man. Super helpful. Who says you need a realtor to relocate? So all good. But how many more types of those situations are going to come up? Guys, I'll say this again. The future is in Florida.
Why
come on down.
No.
Come on down to Miami.
I do not want to bring all the leftists and all these people with their mentalities. No.
Buddy,
Stay
didn't
where you're
you
at.
come from?
No.
Didn't you come from California?
Yeah, hold on, Adam. How many years ago? I'm saying right now, we're good. Stay there and make your state better.
You sound like James Fishback.
I'm from New York, lived in Connecticut, moved to California. This is here. What I'm saying is right now, we're good. Make your state better. It's easy. Hold on. Vote for the right people.
The guy who moved here 3 years ago. We're good, guys.
Four.
We're good, guys.
4 years.
You know what?
It's
Take it from the guy who's been here my whole life. If you want to
in
take
3 months, it'll be 4 years.
Yeah, hold on. I've been here 4 years.
In 3 months, or it's already 4 years?
Well, I think May was 4 years.
No, May will be 4 years.
That's
Three
it.
months.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Okay,
Awesome.
so May will be 4 years. Here's my thing.
By the way, that's what's crazy. Yesterday, I'm sitting there. Connor's telling me he's been here for 3 years. I said, "There's no way you've been." I thought Connor was here like 6 weeks ago. Connor's been here 3 years. Go
exactly.
ahead.
So here's my thing.
Shout out
By the
for
way,
Connor.
It's Ivan's first month, I want to say. Shout out to Ivan.
First of all,
5 years later.
First of all, I want
be his
everybody
last
to
month.
going back to the video that we saw. She right now, her name is Jen Newsom. She's the first partner. That's what they call her when you're she's the first partner.
She's not the first wife?
Guys. No. She's the first partner. Jennifer Siebel Newsom. I hope you guys understand. He's the front runner.
Potential
Gavin,
first lady
this could
right
be
there.
the potential first lady moving her husband to the side, and he didn't want it, and he just stays there. Well, he wasn't laughing. He wasn't smiling. And she's running the show just like how Jill Biden was kind of running the show when, walking zombie.
Do you have other pictures of her, Rob?
But here's my thing. Yeah, by the way, she has a history which she accused Harvey Weinstein of something, assault in a hotel room. Long story short. Anyway,
Let me tell you something, buddy.
Put that all the way to the side.
You put that lady on the campaign trail.
Oh.
And attractive white women, white liberal women are going to eat that up.
Well, that's what I'm. Well, add to the top of that, I want everybody to know what the context of what she did. By the way, you're in a war room, meaning there's reporters, there's females. The majority of them were females. Their job is to ask questions on everything. That's what the decorum is about. She didn't like it, and she basically comes out, and what she was actually saying is, hey, shame on all of you reporters for talking to my husband about how failed of a state California is, how horrible of a governor my husband is, wasting $24 billion on homelessness, and it actually rose, wasting billions of dollars on the rail system, highest taxes on gas, highest taxes, $1 trillion of people leaving. We want to celebrate murdering innocent babies. Shame on you. If you're not talking about killing babies, shut up, because that's what we're here to do.
That's true.
Period. That's what she was saying.
Tom.
And what what?
Amen.
Well, we can bring this right about back
Allegedly.
to Puerto Rico. In the last 48 hours,
She looks like a first lady, though. She looks like,
She has
by the way,
look.
she looks like a Democratic first lady.
1000%.
Guys, you can both criticize policies and still say, this is the leading candidate of the first lady on the opposing side. Just so you know, get used to this, folks. Go ahead, Tom.
Name
You know what's really interesting in this? That was at this, this rally for
murder,
for abortion, which is horrible black genocide that they keep propagating. Glad to see that Gavin Newsom wants to be the flag carrier for that. I look at Puerto Rico, what happened in the last 48 hours, Pat. There was a legislator in Puerto Rico that pushed to get a motion through to declare that unborn babies are human beings and should be protected. And so we're talking about Puerto Rico today, talking about being a territory of the United States. We're talking about a lot of things. And I was really proud to see this, to see them standing up. And there it is. It says, Puerto Rico governor signs law recognizing unborn babies as human beings.
God bless them.
God bless you, Jennifer
joking?
Gonzalez.
Fantastic.
Are you serious?
Jennifer?
Watch. Everyone's now going to say, bring Bad Bunny next year.
Exactly. All of a sudden, dale, Bad Bunny. We like you now.
Hang on. Can I go back to that and say something serious? Bad Bunny saying only in Spanish, which is his brand, which he said he was going to do. But I think that was just a bad choice by the NFL to do it that way, because you can celebrate the rich Hispanic heritage of so many Americans. We all come from somewhere in America. We all come from somewhere. My heritage on my dad's side is Canadian. And what's interesting about it is you can recognize our diversity and celebrate it. You know what we did? You know what Pat did? 50% of the agents, a little over 50% of the agents at PHP, the life insurance agents that have licenses and thriving, have Hispanic heritage. And over 50% of them are women. And to celebrate the diversity and everything we have, Pat used to bring entertainment and acts. And do you know what a great reception Nicky Jam's got, also from Puerto Rico? It was tremendous. And so you can do this in such a way that you serve the broad audience and you serve everyone. What the NFL did, it just didn't work. But meanwhile, in Puerto Rico, you got a brave governor that is standing up and doing this, and I applaud her.
Tom, can I ask you a question? Well, yeah. Well, think about the tale of two Jens. That's Jennifer here. The other one wants to kill them.
Hey, that was a good one.
Thank you. But here's my question. So if he's saying the law is unborn babies as human beings, does that mean abortion is murder? What is that saying?
Well, the implications are there. That's clear, and it's also Planned Parenthood has funded historically certain lawsuits where there was a woman in a car accident that lost a 6-month term baby.
Yes.
Right, the baby was killed as a result of injuries it suffered in the car accident, and Planned Parenthood and their allies ran to the front to prevent the DA from filing manslaughter charges against the drunk driver.
Oh, wow.
And so they
cases.
God forbid you declare that unborn child, that baby, that human, that precious life would not be of any value, and
wow.
and they blocked it.
Wow.
This is the lobby. When it comes down to this is the lobby.
Good.
By the way, I am so impressed by this. I'm still flabbergasted by the story.
Yeah.
Good. Can we go to her profile, Rob? Can we go to Governor Jennifer Gonzalez? Go to her profile. Zoom in. Okay, let's see. Also, go to Jay Go and Puerto Rican Servant Governor 2020. She previously served 20th President of 2017. New Progressive Party in the Republican United States. She held leadership positions, including being chair of Puerto Rico. She is the second elected, third serving female governor. Gonzalez was born in San Juan to the late Jorge Gonzalez and Nidia Colon. She graduated from the University of Germany. Go a little bit lower. Obtained JD from LLM from International University of Puerto Rico Law, and she has been admitted to the bar of jurisdiction. Respect.
Good for her.
Good for you. Whoever you are, good for you. I was hoping there was family relation to Juan Gonzalez,
but
my favorite baseball player of all time. But it's George Gonzalez, which is still plenty. He almost beat Hack Wilson's record many years ago. He had 110 RBIs before All-Star game, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I would go watch this guy all the time. Legendary player. Favorite baseball player of all time, Juan Gon. Anyways, let me get to the next story. Juan Gon was the best.
Shout out to Puerto Rico.
So let's talk about this, okay? This whole thing with voter ID. Have you guys seen what Scott Jennings did with CNN on voter ID? How?
Oh,
have you seen that clip?
It was perfect. They were so cornered.
Only one House Democrat voted in favor of voter ID, proof of citizenship in U.S. elections. So people want real people voting. We want everybody to just be straight up about it. But one House representative passed a massive election integrity bill on Wednesday despite opposition from the vast majority of Democrats. This is the SAVE Act that they're talking about. The Democrat, the House Representative legislation that's aimed at keeping non-citizens from voting in the U.S. federal elections. But all but one House Democrat, Representative Henry Suellar, Democrat Texas, voted against the bill. It passed 218 to 213. It is an updated version of the Safeguarding America voter eligibility, also led by Roy, Representative Republican Texas, which passed the House April of 2025, but was never taken up to Senate. So, what is this, Rob? This is the Democrat?
This is the statement, from the Democrat.
Can you read that, Rob?
I support the Save America Act because I believe in a fundamental principle. American citizens should decide American elections. That principle strengthens our democracy and protects the value of every vote. This is the same secure but practical approach Texas already uses. Strong photo ID standards with real fallback options. And it's a big reason Texas has some of the strongest election security laws in the country. I want to explain clearly what this bill does and does not do. If you are already registered to vote, the status of your existing registration remains unchanged. For those registering for the first time, the bill also reflects real life. People get married, people get divorced, and people change their names. Those moments should never create uncertainty about whether someone can vote. That's why this bill requires states to accommodate name changes and accept multiple commonly held forms of identification. And if a citizen does not have those documents readily available, the bill provides a way to affirm citizenship through an affidavit. This approach protects election integrity while treating eligible voters with fairness and respect.
There you go.
At the end of the day, election security and voter access
Good
go
for
together.
Him. Who is this guy, Rob? Can we go to him? Let's recognize him.
He's the
Henry
Collar.
Like a light-skinned black dude with glasses. Is that him?
Henry Suellar. And he's from where? He's from Texas? San Antonio?
Oh, he's Latino?
Rio Grande?
Texas 28.
Okay. Go to CNN's clip. Well, good for you. Go to CNN's clip with Scott Jennings. Guys, you're going to hear one word 20 times in this clip. And that one word is how. Go ahead, Rob.
Rights is he taking away from black voters?
Oh, if we look at
the SAVE Act?
The SAVE Act, that's exactly what we're talking about. That is actually going to continue to disenfranchise overwhelmingly a lot of people of color. There are so many civil rights organizations that have run the data. If we look at the way that it is going to disenfranchise black voters, it's the same reason why Chuck Schumer called it Jim Crow 2.0.
So,
this is the same president. If we want to continue...
You haven't said how yet.
I am talking about it. It's the way that you're putting new poll taxes on this when you're making people have... That's what we can call them now. It's kind of an idiom, right? If you want to say that people have to prove that they are citizens, that they have to prove with a voter ID, the reality is you're layering what is a constitutional right for the American people and making it harder for people to vote in this country, and it's going to disenfranchise black voters.
Concern you that you're making all these claims? You've yet to lay out how it's hurting anyone, but 76% of black voters think we should show an ID to vote. 80% of Hispanic voters, 83% of the American people. Are you saying that black voters are too dumb to know what's good for them? What voting rights is he taking away from?
Nuts after
yeah, Rob, if you can find that, because it's great, that clip. But Tom, I'll come to you first. Your thoughts on this?
Well, first of all, none of those people have read the bill. And I'll summarize what just happened there. We have been working for 5 years to get illegal voters in here, and I'll be damned if you're going to pass legislation that screws me up.
Exactly.
That's basic. So let me just translate that, right? It's like what you have here, the SAVE Act. The narrative on the SAVE Act was disenfranchises voter. We even had a local congressman on, and we had a good spirited conversation, Pat. Did you think? I thought that was a pretty good podcast.
Jared?
A week ago, yeah.
Yeah, he was great.
But even he stuck to the narrative, and we kind of pushed him on it a little bit. We said, hey, you're gonna force these people to get an alternative form of identification. No, it's not. And God bless the congressman from San Antonio for spelling it out. These people, the bill came from the right. And so if it's coming from the right, it must be bad. And they have been, if anything, enfranchising illegal voters. No one's going to be disenfranchised. We want to enfranchise all legal citizens to vote. And I'm in favor of it. I won't speak for Pat, but I know he's in favor of it. A national day off to vote. That election day is like 4th of July, where we celebrate the freedom to vote, and everybody who is a citizen votes on that day. That's what we want. No one's trying to disenfranchise. This bill is trying to ensure that our elections are only all citizens who should be aggressively enfranchised to vote, even to the point I really think that if I was in Washington, I would be pushing for the last line of the bill, Pat, and establish the first Monday in November as a national holiday so that people can vote every even year.
I am with it. I am with it. I am with it. I am with it. I'd love for that to happen.
Tom, I agree with you, and I agree with you 1,000%. Just really quick, one thing that bothers me, we did what was the earlier poll on what CNN? They're lowering, they're hemorrhaging numbers. I love Scott Jennings, and I love this because he's actually checking them, but I don't even want him to be on CNN. I don't want him there. I want him to leave so that they can, well, hear me out, so that they can disappear once and for all. Scott could be on his own network. Go to Fox, go to somewhere. I get the banter, and I get what he's doing because he's checking.
He loves it.
And I know he does because he checks them, but I think he's helping CNN, which I want them to just go away, number one. Number two, to say that, I think it's extremely racist to say minorities, they don't know how to get IDs. These people don't know how to get IDs. And here's my thing. If you don't know how to go get an identification, I don't even want you to vote. Who are you going to be voting for? You're going to be voting for the people that are telling you, hey, listen, you know what I mean? Just get in here. We don't give a damn. Get in here. And I think it's so obvious at this point what the tactic of the left has been. When we were sitting on this podcast, Pat, going crazy, going, the border's open. What the hell is going on? It's so obvious, and this is it. Anybody against the Save America Act, you are a part of the problem.
Is that the rest of it, Rob?
Yes, sir.
Let me see it.
By the way, it's first Tuesday in November. I got excited there.
The SAVE Act isn't just about
sounds pretty condescending.
Just to be clear, the SAVE Act is not just about IDs.
That is not who want voter ID.
Just to be clear, the SAVE Act is not just about IDs. The SAVE Act is about proof of citizenship.
So what?
What's wrong with that?
It doesn't. I actually.
But where is it, Rob? Did you go too much ahead?
Because
that's not it.
No, it's right here.
The SAVE Act isn't
know what's good for them. I mean,
the SAVE Act isn't just about.
It sounds pretty condescending.
Just to be clear, the SAVE Act is not just about IDs.
That is not
okay, got it.
Just to be clear, the SAVE Act.
Well, let me get to the next story, and then Adam, I'm going to come to you. CNN has lost nearly half of its audience and all its relevance in the past 8 years, according to this story Outkick. No network on television benefited from Trump's first presidency than CNN, although it remained distant third in cable network behind Fox and MSNBC. CNN openly negative coverage of the president kept the network relevant and viable. Okay? This is the story about what happened with CNN. And then that's the case. That's not the case the second time around. A new analysis from Fox Digital shows that CNN has lost more than 40% of its day and primetime audience from 2017 to 2018. Here's what it looks like. Primetime, 2015 was 711,000. Then they went to 1 million after Trump got elected.
Weird.
Damn.
Drop.
They're down to 573. And then total day went from 489 to 775, down to 432. Adam, why do you think this happened?
Well, it's because they don't want to face reality. I mean, nobody wants to tune in to watch CNN and watch Scott Jennings just dismantle panels for a living. And if you're living with TDS and you think Trump is the devil and you think he's a Nazi and you think that he's a fascist and you're going to tune in and watch this guy run laps around these woke, useful idiots, you're not going to watch it anymore. You're going to go find a outlet or a newspaper or a TV station or a YouTube channel that's just going to basically pander to your belief system. So the next thing is that I wanted to talk about the SAFE Act. So what we've seen constantly is that Democrats just double down on the 20 on an 80-20 issue. People always ask me, dude, are you a Republican now? Are you still a Democrat? I go, I'm a registered independent, but if I belong to a party, I belong to the common sense party. And what happened was the Democrats left common sense years ago, the day that Trump got elected. And people tell me, dude, thank God you no longer have TDS. And I'll say, thank God I don't have it either. Because I see it every single day, how people are living with this crippling, debilitating disease called TDS. Remember the video where someone was like, Trump goes, listen, guys, want to help you. Don't take aspirin if you're pregnant. And then you have pregnant women being like, don't tell me what to do.
Yeah. Oh.
It's so stupid out there. So the ID thing is an issue. Guys, 80% of America, blacks, Latinos, whites, even 90%, saying, yeah, let's have an ID to vote. These are 80-20 issues that are layups for the Republican Party, but Democrats want to get on CNN, on national TV, in front of a diminishing audience, and argue why IDs are bad or IDs are racist, when you have 80% of black people saying, no, dude, like, we can get an ID. If I want to go to the club, if I want to go on an airplane, if I want to travel, I have the ability to get an ID.
Vinny, do you think the ability to get ID is racist? Like, do you think that's too much to ask for?
Yeah, Pat, because no, absolutely not. It's actually, you know how disrespectful it is for a black person to say that about other black, like, what do you think of your people? How freaking disrespectful and racist is that? Go get your damn ID. You want to vote. Go get your
26.
Dude, I had an ID I had a fake ID when I was 15. If I could do it, you could do it.
That's my boy.
Vinny, they do it every day in Los Angeles.
I had a big ID. I was in a nightclub. People were like, damn, that guy's young.
Thank you for saying a nightclub. It's like debating. It's like debating whether or not you should show your ID when you go into a nightclub.
Bro, I was out clubbing.
Everybody knows.
2001.
What was the club's
name of the
name?
club.
What was the club's name? See if
2001.
What was the name of the club?
It was called 2001.
Seriously.
And the bouncers were jerks. They wouldn't. Anybody from New Britain, Connecticut would know, Pat. We'd have to wear baggy jeans under these tight jeans. The security guys were jerks. And then once we got in, fake ID from a bodega called Sidracas. I got a fake ID. The guy was like, mira, tú quiero, dale.
You're ratting on your fake ID guy right now?
That place isn't there anymore, but
yeah,
all
because
the
they
people
called it
from
2001.
Well, no,
let me guess, they went out of business shortly after that.
Pat, I'd take my shirt and I would just sweat. Oh, it was amazing. I would do the worm.
I haven't been ID'd since I was 12 years old. People never believe my age, but we would go to a club called Carnival in downtown LA. Yeah, Carnival. It was no longer around.
How old?
15 years old.
Oh, Pat, I can give you a shout out.
What?
You remember the name of every club you've ever been to?
Oh, yeah.
Like literally every club. When I was in Kentucky, we used to go to this one club, and then in LA, in Avaca, Fifth of.
Yeah. Tom, what clubs did you go to?
Come on, Tom.
Believe it or not,
they didn't let him in.
I spent, high school in Boca Raton, Florida, and we used to go down spring break to the Button, Summers on the Beach, and Penrod's. They were all right together, and right at
Penrod's?
Penrod, Penrod, Penrod. And then right at the end was called the Candy Store, which was owned by comedian Flip Wilson, who used to have the Flip Wilson show, and he was
Old
on
school.
TV.
Yeah.
And or partially owned by him. But that was, by the way, and that group of clubs down there, there was his act, Geraldine. He would put on the wig and do this Geraldine act. And you know what was amazing? Fort Lauderdale wanted to get rid of those 4 bars specifically because they felt that it was just a problem for spring break. And but
Tom, the comment section is saying you went to Studio 54. You don't want to.
No. And
the comment section is like they saw you at Studio 54.
Tom was out.
They're all over the place.
And in L.A., not too far from Dodger Stadium, there was a place called the Shortstop where you would have all kinds of.
Oh wow! Now we're really getting into
Tom
it.
just doing blow off the toilet bowl. Did you hear?
What
RFK?
Fun
what does that have to do with?
RFK was saying he was doing cocaine.
What does that have to do with ID though?
Yeah. So, but what he's trying to say is these clubs you went to. Tom went with a fake ID. No, we used to go to Florida. Rob, there was a club in Panama City, Club La Vila and Spinnakers. Club La Vila and
Every
Spinnakers.
club name.
Oh, Spinnakers was right next to La Vila. La Vila had 7 clubs within one club when back in the days, MTV used to do its stuff and hard body contests and all this other stuff many years ago. Yeah. Tom, CNN. Let's go back to CNN. Ratings being down.
Yep.
Can they do anything about it?
Well, they can, and I think if you just go take a look at what's happening at CBS, see, the news divisions have been lost. They've been lost leaders for media companies, and the media companies accepted the loss because the people at the top of those media companies were in cahoots with the liberal side of America, the progressive side of America, and they were using that as the megaphone to promote progressive liberalism. That's what they were doing. Now, things like CBS are owned by adults who are looking to make a profitable, make CBS profitable, and they are bracing for another round of cuts, is what's happening. Over at CNN is trapped in this group of cable nets that David Zaslav, Zaz, is going to spin. If Netflix wins, he's spinning that into what I believe will be a worthless tracking stock where they will just languish. If the Ellisons and Paramount wins, they want to take the cable nets and they want to make them profitable. And people are scared to death of that because that means CNN will go more toward the center, the same way as CBS is leaning toward the center. And it's causing this apoplectic seizure that's happening in the progressive movement. So can CNN save itself? Yes, but it's going to be more layoffs and new leadership, the same as you're seeing at CBS. CBS they are looking in the mirror over at CNN, and they don't like the reflection they're seeing because if they look, instead of let themselves look out the window at what's happening at CBS, they know what's coming. And that's why they're in such a. By the way, if you took Scott Jennings off, what would those ratings be?
It's a good point. And by the way,
325?
We send a couple of our guys, shout out to Humberto and Justin, to the YouTube event in D.C., and apparently they didn't go to a single meeting. All they did is party and drink and have fun.
Chilean. He's monitoring toilet flushes.
For the 7 minutes that they went to the meeting, for the 7 minutes that they went to the meeting. No, the report we got was phenomenal. But one of the things that a couple of the guys there talked about, he's texting me right now, is the fact that the conversations are that cable has 7 years left. So there's 7 more years left for cable because right now, Rob, you just ran a poll. You ran a poll. What was the poll you just ran on YouTube? Where do you get your news from?
Yes.
Right? I don't know if it's still up or not.
It is.
Okay, check this out. Zoom in. 3,000 votes. Wow. Where do you get your news from? Look at that.
Wow.
Print media, 1%. Fox, ABC, CNN, all that stuff, 8%. Podcasts, 91%. Where people are getting their news from. It's changed. It's a different market today. Vinny.
It's crazy though, Pat. It's crazy though that like our audience and them, that 8%, that 9%, guys, that 9% still can cause an uproar. They could cause riots. They could shut down it's still working. Don't get me wrong. They still get their message out, and there's still a bunch of brainwashed zombies that can't step back, get all the information, and then make a decision based on that and have an opinion on it. The fact that that 9% isn't giving fact. They're political activists. They want you to think a certain way because they're getting money from donors. Thank God for the 92% that we have going on. It's going to stop. But don't sleep on them because that little percentage still works, Adam. I still run into a lot of the times people are just like, I hate Trump, and they hate, and they don't get it.
Well, it is amazing. You watch Harry Ensign, Pat, and every
everywhere.
night he's got a poll that's like saying exactly this, but they still don't move their position.
There's also an age gap, though. Like, people that are watching us are predominantly 50 and under.
This is a good clip to show, Rob. The TV just went
People
out.
watching
TVs are
mainstream
out.
media
Well,
are
they're
65 and older.
They're loading.
Watch this clip here. Go ahead.
Democratic base, right? But what about all Americans, right? How about all voters? Voters who say the Democrats are now too liberal. Look at this percentage. It was 42% in 96, 48% in 2013. Now 58% in 2025 of all voters say that the Democratic Party is too liberal. The Democrats are moving to the left. The far left is gaining power, and there could be some electoral repercussions because what we see right now is voters, the clear majority.
Look at her head. Look at her head.
She's so bummed out.
I really wonder how
That's
Harry
like
Ensign is
Mom.
treated in the lunchroom at CNN. There's Harry. By the way,
Look at him with his facts and data.
did you see today that they had to show the report about how the economy is doing with inflation? And
right?
you see that?
Oh, it's amazing.
Consumer price. Rob, I think you have that clip as well, Rob, if you want to pull it up. That was.
I wonder if Harry Ensign is like that at home when they want to go out to eat. He's like, if this restaurant has A and this one has a B, I wonder if he's that guy in the house. He has one of these.
Imagine to his. I want you to go to the bath. We're going to the bedroom right now because in about 6 minutes you and I gonna be.
I'd like to see him order at McDonald's. Stand on the counter. Number 8 is number 1, and that's what I want. I want a number 8. And I want you to supersize it.
He's hilarious, bro.
Well, Rob, go back to that stat if you can. Watch this.
This
Go
poor
ahead.
woman has to sit through this each week.
Okay, look, this is some encouraging news on the cost of living.
Yeah,
right?
you look
Inflation
happy.
took a big step in the right
looks fired
direction
up.
to
Yeah,
start
look at
the
her.
year off.
Look
So
at her.
consumer prices up by 2.4% year over year. That is an improvement from 2.7% in December. That beat expectations, which were for 2.5%. In fact, this is a new 8-month low for annual inflation,
heard
month
that?
over month. Prices up by 0.2%. Also a step in the right direction, also beating expectation. Now, economists look really closely at core inflation, which excludes food and energy. Core inflation came in at 2.5%. That's notable because that's the lowest annual inflation rate for core since March of 2021, before the inflation crisis. Now, while we can't exclude food and energy from our family budgets, that's important because economists say that's a better indicator for where inflation is going. And when you look at the trend for inflation over the last few years,
She wants to be anywhere but there.
It's been a little bit bumpy on this chart. It's been bumpy. But it has improved. There was this uptick in inflation starting last spring after the president slapped massive tariffs on imports. Inflation started to go heat back up to 3%, but thankfully it's trending back down.
Somebody
Now,
get her a drink.
Some of the notable
She looks like she wants an old
as
fashioned.
far as what
Okay.
So funny.
Isn't it great when you see this happening?
It looks like it hurts her.
Yeah.
Like it's hurting the body.
CNN should just cancel the stat show. It's like it's
Which one?
hurting.
I mean, can you just show that stat one more time?
The 42, 40.
Voters.
Yeah, 48, 58.
Is that all voters?
Democrats are saying the Democrats have become
the
more liberal.
Democratic Party is basically saying we've gone
Democrats
too
have become
woke.
more liberal.
We've gone too woke.
Yeah. Democrats.
It's about time.
Yeah. So, I mean, the question becomes, what happens next with this, right? That's the question. Is it going to mean anything? I want to finish on a good story, Rob, on what we got going on is James Vander Beek just passed away. Okay. And for some of you guys, if you don't know who he is, for me, everybody goes to different movies. Where do you go with him, by the way? Where do you go with him when you think about him?
Varsity Blues.
You go to Varsity
It's not
Blues?
even
Where do you go?
close, dude.
Varsity Blues?
I don't want
Jake, where do
your
you go?
laugh.
Where do you go, Rob? with him?
Incredible.
I go to one. Do you ever watch any of this stuff or no?
Dawson's Creek.
Okay, so listen, let me tell you guys about Dawson's Creek.
Rob, tell me you're into men without telling me.
I honestly don't want to wait for our lives to be over.
I don't want to wait.
That was the song. FYI, you know what's crazy? I'm going to share this with you guys. Please don't share with anybody. And let's just keep it in this community. I don't want anybody to know this. When I was in the Army, me and these 6, 7 guys from our unit, we knew a couple things. In our barracks, there's 2 things we wouldn't miss. When Sosa and McGuire were playing, we'd be in that room watching the games. Or Tuesday nights, they changed it to Wednesday, but for many years it was Tuesday night, Dawson's Creek. And we would sit there and watch this guy. It was the sickest show, but we had one code. We cannot tell anybody we watched Dawson's Creek. Okay? It's one of the things. You can brag about watching Melrose Place, maybe even a little bit Beverly Hills 90210. You can't tell people you watch Dawson's Creek and you're in a military uniform, all this other stuff. But it was an awesome show. The best part about him is this one clip I shared where he experiences God as he's going through his. It's such a beautiful, beautiful message to finish the podcast on. Go ahead, Rob.
Today's my birthday, and it has been the hardest year of my life, and I wanted to share something that I learned with y'all. When I was younger, I used to define myself as an actor, right? Which was never really all that fulfilling. And then I became a husband, and that was much better. And then I became a father, and that was the ultimate. I could define myself then as a loving, capable, strong, supportive husband, father, provider, steward of the land that we're so lucky to live on. And for a long time, that felt like a really good definition to the question, who am I? What am I? And then this year, I had to look my own mortality in the eye. I had to come nose to nose with death. And all of those definitions that I cared so deeply about were stripped from me. I was away for treatment, so I could no longer be a husband that was helpful to my wife. I could no longer be a father who could pick up his kids and put them to bed and be there for them. I could not be a provider because I wasn't working. I couldn't even be a steward of the land because at times I was too weak to prune all the trees during the window that you're supposed to prune them. And so I was faced with the question, if I am just a too skinny, weak guy alone in an apartment with cancer, what am I? And I meditated and the answer came through, I am worthy of God's love.
Wow.
Simply because I exist. And if I'm worthy of God's love, shouldn't I also be worthy of my own? And the same is true for you. And as I move through this healing portal toward recovery, I wanted to share that with you because I think that revelation that came to me was due in no small part to all the prayers and the love that have been directed toward me. So I offer that to you, however it sits in your consciousness, however it resonates, run with it. And if the word God trips you up, I certainly don't know, I can't claim to know what God is or explain God. My efforts to connect to God are an ongoing process that is a constant unfolding mystery to me. But if it's a trigger, it feels too religious, you can take the word God out and your mantra can simply be, I am worthy of love.
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
And then, boom, he passed away 2 days ago when you see that message.
Do you see, look in his eyes and tell me that faith. He has faith and zero fear. Said death is nose to nose with him, and I didn't see any fear in him because he has God. If that doesn't tell you everything that we're about, I'm sorry.
I love you, Vinny, and I appreciate that, man. So for me, all these actors that die, we remember, like for you it was Dawson's Creek. For me, it was Varsity Blues, and it doesn't come close. You know, we're seeing these actors die, and we say, man, I remember Dustin Diamond died. That was Screech from Saved by the Bell. I used to wake up in the morning and I feel it. You remember that song? And then Paul Walker died. He was also in the movie with Varsity Blues. He was the quarterback that Foxy Moxie, James Vanderbeek, took his place. Man, I used to hang out with that guy in Miami. Wow, good-looking guy, stud of a guy. Died driving a car. Fast and man, I knew him. Chadwick Boseman died, right? Wakanda Forever. And you're like, dude, what is happening right now? But this is a part of life. But I'll tell you one story. In 1999, when Varsity Blues came out, I was playing football at the time. I was playing football in North Carolina at the time. Our whole team went to go see that movie. And you talk about the Army and the camaraderie. Go take your entire football team to go watch Varsity Blues. Like, remember when we took the entire company to go watch Air? We're like, all right, we're going to go change the world. Movies, you know, I'm not a big movie guy. Movies They used to be able to galvanize people and change the world, and they used to be original. Now the movies aren't what they used to be, but here's a guy that has made such a huge impact from one movie. And look at the impact that he's made in this world with his family. Look at this, his family right here.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. So here you have obviously a grieving mother and beautiful kids, beautiful blonde babies. And salute to James Van Der Beek for everything you've done for America and for our culture and for society.
4 daughters, 2 sons, husband and wife, widow Kimberly Brooke. He was raised a Christian, born a Christian, and may you rest in peace. Tom, your thoughts here?
You know, we all owe this world one death. And it's easy when you're young and strong to kind of create your own God and to create your own confidence and to live according to that and to doubt everything else. But it's an amazing thing of the human condition that when we're faced with our mortality, we are all capable of self-reflection if we'll let our bold, flawed human self get out of the way. And that's what you saw there. You saw a guy that was reflecting on who he was, reflecting on his value, and we're all worthy of God's love. And it's a God that sent his son that loved us so much that all of our flaws on earth, that all of our flaws as humans, he wants to forgive that and to give you the gateway to eternal life and peace. And I'm really inspired by the reflection that I saw in the words that he gave. And I think you can slow down. You can slow down and meditate and think about who you are in this life and let your human self get out of the way for a minute and just think about what you just saw and say, what are the choices I'm making today? And there's a God that loves me so much in my sin and everything who I am today. You don't need to wait till you have cancer to kind of reflect on that and to live a life of true value and peace and encouragement to others. And I pray for his family. What a beautiful family. What a just a gorgeous, reflection there. And you look at the reflection of who he was. Look at his family. There's the reflection.
Very interesting how
he was
they
a
met.
wonderful, wonderful father. Look at them.
Yeah, I'm going back to see how they met. They met on a trip to Israel in 2009. Neither are Jewish, by the way. They had such a spiritual experience, personal growth experience, that they ended up getting married there in 2010 in Tel Aviv. Partly because that's where they met. They got married in Tel Aviv. Neither's Jewish. So I said, maybe she's probably Jewish. No. You can tell, for somebody who want to get married at a place like that and you're raised a Christian, and very interesting. But all in all, super likable, man. You just hate to hear stories like this, a young man being where they're at. And it makes all of us, we are 47 years old. You get to a certain age in your life where you start realizing how important of a role faith plays. And I always say this to everybody. I told this to Adam for many, many years. I would tell him this, and I would say to anyone around me, whatever you're doing this weekend, my suggestion, go to church. Go to church this Sunday. Go to service this Sunday. Especially for some of you guys that haven't been a while. And maybe you're battling with your faith and things that didn't go right. You lost somebody, your relationship, a bad breakup, finance, career, bad experience back in the days when you were a kid. Something happened with a church, with a pastor, with a priest, whatever may be. I was told a long time ago when I would go to Bible study in 2002, Friday nights, I would be in, every other Friday night, I would be in Pasadena from 6 p.m. to 2 o'clock in the morning. If you judge your relationship with God horizontally, you'll always be disappointed. But if you judge your relationship with God vertically, you'll be fine. So your bad experience spiritually is probably horizontal. On somebody else let you down, they did something to you that hurt you. You won't be disappointed vertically. It's been my experience. I can't believe the life I live every day. I'm so grateful for it. Anyways, I didn't even know we were going to finish the story on this. Last minute, I decided to do this because his message he gave was so touching, was so amazing, and I hope it touched the right people as well. Gang, have a great weekend. Enjoy Valentine's Day with your loved ones tomorrow. And if you don't have a loved one, there's plenty of dating sites out there to find somebody to go on a date with. But whatever
Go make
it is,
a baby this weekend.
enjoy the weekend. If you're married, do go make a baby this weekend. if you're married. God bless
Even if
everybody.
you're
Take
not
care.
married, and
no,
your
no, no,
beautiful
no, no.
girlfriend.
No. That's his.
Stop.
Do it the right way. God bless everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.